Hey there. Ha ha, happy Tuesday. What a beautiful day to be alive. Ha ha. I'm hanging out in Washington State on Hood Canal. This is where I lived for the last 3 years before I hit the road and started wandering as we do. And I'm excited today because I have my dear friend Harry Madadeen joining me, and he's over
Yo,
there in
yo.
yeah, he's in the UK, and we are all dialed up. I've got him on audio because it's going to work best. We figured out what would work best. So audio is our option, and he's on my computer, and I've on the phone, and we got a good connection. We've been hanging out and talking for the last 15 minutes, and so we're good to go today. There's going to be no interruption in this program. And
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear that next week I'm going to be joined with Nancy Fox, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation about the retreats and organic gardening and all the different kind of things that we're planning to enjoy. And then I have, oh God, his name is, shoot, Termal. God, what's his name? That's a brain fart right there. But yeah, I'll come back to it. It'll come back to me. But this guy's got over 400 videos out there. I mean, this guy's been a activist and a proponent for so many ideas. He's just fucking fun. He's crazy cool. So anyway, now, after we got a little waylaid a month ago, Harry is back with me. He was just getting home from his cross the pond visit, and he was pretty spent. So when we had our scheduled event, he had spent all his tokens. But he's fresh today. Aren't you, Harry?
Yeah, hi guys. Hi easy crowd. How's it going? I was up with Brian Justice, like drinking pee, like on the last couple of days, in the first couple of days. It was an amazing experience. But yeah, man. Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome, Harry. I'm so pleased to have you join me. I love you dearly, bro. You know that.
Yeah. Same to you guys. I love everyone out there that's trying or thinking or even hasn't even done the pee, that's just watching this and is curious. Anyone that just anyone in P crowd, saludos, kudos. Well
Yeah,
done, guys. You fucking doing amazing.
yeah,
Keep it up.
yeah. Drink pee, be happy, right? You know.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So I want to start this dialogue with you, Harry, by asking you to give us a little background, how you discovered it, why you chose it, results you've produced because of it, and let's get to know Harry real quick.
Sure. So, I'll talk a little bit about before I go into P. I started P 2 years ago, but a long time before that, I went through a lot of depression and craziness when I was at school. And I've always been one of those kids that I never really felt I fit in with other people. So I got myself into self-improvement in 2009. And I wasn't much into health at 2009. I didn't connect the dots between health and depression. I was trying to fix my mind. But 2 years ago, I started in a big way to get into health, and I was reading a lot. But I've always been an open-minded person, and this is what stood me out. When I was desperate to improve my life and to improve my mind. I've always been into health, and yeah, I started reading books on Amazon. On how you buy books on Amazon and you come up with the customers who bought. So I read a book called you guys might know it, Barbara Wren's Cellular Awakening. Kaike, have you heard of that book?
No, I haven't heard of that one. That's curious.
Oh. Yeah, it's for Barbara Wren, and it's got techniques in it. 6 techniques. One of them is a liver or castor oil liver pack. There's the hot and cold showers, and one of them in it, number 6, was this thing called urine therapy. And she said, "Oh, it'd been practiced like 2,000 years ago." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So I read that, and then I thought, "I'm still not gonna try." Urine's obviously a waste product, and yeah. But I bought one of the other books, which was Martha Christie's. You guys all know this, right?
Yeah,
This is the
Your Own
Bible for
Perfect Medicine. I love that book.
bingo. So I
Yeah.
ordered that one. I sat in the park. I read it, and my reaction was probably like a lot of your audience's reaction. Like instead of being closed-minded and this is a waste product, as I read through page by page, I was like, oh my god, this makes so much sense. This is amazing. And by the end of the book, I read it in a couple of days, and by the end I was like, I can't wait to start drinking my own pee.
And
Like, I was so
and
excited.
her transformation, I mean her medical, I mean wow, now there's some serious testimonial right there. Martha Christie is off the hook in testimonial.
Yeah, but that book has just hit me with like, it cures this disease, it cures that disease, the urea, the hormones, the enzymes. It doesn't even mention the distilled water, which you get to later. And by the end of it, I was like, okay, well, I've got to try this. And I didn't. I thought it might have benefits, but when I actually tried it for the first time, I
How
think I
long
took a
ago
bit of
was
my.
that, Harry? How long?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, this was about this was 2016, June 2016, around my 28th birthday. It was around my 28th birthday that I took it for the first time. I took a bit of morning pee, so it was 4 a.m. in the morning. Drank a little bit, and I felt different, like radically different. Like because I didn't even realize at that point I was depressed. I had depression before, but I thought I cured myself. But the urine took me to another place. Very much like what you say, Kake, about the piquancy. I
Yeah.
raised my piquancy like quite a lot from just a little bit. It was such a small dose as well, a pee. Like I was like, whoa, this stuff is legit. And from there on, I got excited and I thought, well, I've just taken a small dose. Now I need to, I need to take bigger doses and start massaging it into the skin. I started joining Facebook groups over the next couple of months. All the with Wiley created, with you guys. Started reading about it, started hearing about from Monica aged urine, and I was like, okay, I thought fresh urine is the shit, but now we've got the aged urine to practice with. What, you can drink aged urine? All
Yeah.
these things, all these little levels.
No,
Over the
I'll
past.
never forget Monica's first post on that and how it blew my mind. Those jars with the red cloth and the little hearts or whatever, the polka dots that was on it, and the article she
Oh yeah,
supplied about aged urine. I went, "You can save it?"
yeah.
And it blew my mind. Really, it did. I just went, "Wow." I got like 60 gallons aging right now. Ha.
Oh
I took a
wow. Oh,
bath this morning with 3 gallons
oh
in my
wow.
bath.
It's so powerful, Kike. You
Oh,
know
it's
as well.
so awesome.
It really is. But you know, with
Yeah.
this age stuff, like, and Monica says this, and it's very true. When you just sniff it and you don't even, if you're too scared to apply it to your skin, but you just sniff the age urine, it does something to your brain. It does
Yeah.
something to the healing. Very powerful. And it's not woo woo and it's not placebo. There is something going on when you just sniff. You just sniff it, like, for real.
Yeah. No, and I agree that the things I've learned from Monica Shoot Changa and
Yeah.
Rosalind Hanson, specifically, these two women have taught me more than anybody else, quite frankly. I mean, in the advanced understanding of it, because they've both been practitioners, Monica over 20 years and Rosalind since she was a child. So their knowledge is so deep and vast.
Incredible.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean, I've only been doing this like 15 months, going on 16 months. So, and I have my own testimony of transformational change that I can't compare to anything I've ever experienced. When asked, and I've done a lot of research on a lot of subjects for a lot of reasons for a lot of years. But when
Yeah.
asked, what's the most important information I've ever learned in my life? Urine therapy is absolutely unconditionally the answer. It's the most important information I ever learned in my life,
Yeah,
bar
same with
none.
me. I mean, it's what got me. I got into health majorly 2 years ago with the P. Now, like you said, I do a lot of other stuff. Maybe some guys aren't aware that I promote a lot of other things apart from urine therapy. However, it's not just because I'm indebted to the urine for it changing my life. It actually is probably the most powerful thing. Like you said, all the things I practice, and I practice a lot of powerful things. Urine therapy is still right up there as the fastest way to health. That it's not even a cheat. It's the way that we were born. I really sincerely believe in my heart that we were all breathing it in when we were younger as a fetus.
Yes.
And it was essential for a protection. The amniotic fluid, it's essential. Without it, we wouldn't exist. Without it, we wouldn't be as healthy as we came out as a baby. It's not it's, because people say it's like a cheat. I don't think it is. It's what we've always done, and what we're practicing now. When we, especially with, do you have any experience with Shivambi through the nose, Kaike?
Yeah. Well, I had Samuel G. Cohen and Kelly on, and I had Rosalind and Daniel join on that program. And that was really like the first time I really made an effort. And it was
Yeah,
humbling. I mean, it's a technique, to actually just put it in a glass, put it up to your nose, and be able to really like funnel it correctly into the cavities. It's a
yeah,
technique that, it's a breathing technique. I mean, there's a lot involved in it. It can get a little messy, but that's okay. I just do it over the sink when I do it, and it's all good. But
yeah.
more
That's
importantly,
something.
this is the part that I want to really impress to
Yeah,
anybody that might be new or, discovering it or just testing it. You drink it, you're going to be good. Okay, now all the extras are awesome. The bath soaks, the body rubs, drinking it through the nose, using it in the eyes. I mean, I use it as a mousse in my hair. Hello, so all of these things are great applications. They are, but if nothing else, if you just drink your pee, you're going to see results. I assure you of that. Now, I
hell
had a thought
yeah.
this morning about making a meme, but I'm just going to speak the meme. This is about perceiving urine as waste. You pee it down the toilet and mix it with all the rest of the septic. Now it becomes toxic waste. You just wasted a precious elixir. That's how it becomes toxic waste. You put it in the toilet and flush it. You
Yeah.
drink it, it's your own perfect medicine. Ha ha. Try it. Really, you know what I'm saying, Harry. And this is what I always loved about you is you're just you're public as I am, and you don't give a shit what anybody says. I love
But
that part about you, man.
yeah. Do you know what? I think like because I'm quite young at heart, even though I'm 30 years old. I think the best way for me to learn how to not care what people think of me, two things I'm doing with one stone. A, I'm getting really healthy with urine therapy, the ultimate of how we grew up and how I became the healthy person I am today in the past 2 years. I just grow in health, but also I've learned that if I talk about something that I'm passionate about that helped me so much, I polarize people, and it weeds away the people that I don't want in my life.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
weeds away the people that are going to judge me on this crazy practice.
Agreed.
And people look at us like we're crazy. I mean, I just came back from London. I stayed with my friend who's into self help, but he's not into health. And I took my jar of pee and aged it and solarized it on his windowsill, and I massaged it into my skin. And unfortunately, you know as well as I do that when you massage that stuff, the aged stuff, it does leave a musky kind of smell for the whole day, really. It doesn't really, I didn't mix it with essential oils, but the point is that I had this smell on me, and I didn't want to upset people, but I'm not going to stop, like, doing my health practices. This is just me. I'm not going to stop doing my health practices just because people think people can smell the pee on me. And my friend was like, oh, you do smell a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, man, but this is how I live, and it's going to be the same in my relationships if I have any in the future. So I'm not going to stop practicing just because, there might be a smell, because it's very powerful.
And
It's very
I don't
powerful.
have any experience of that personally. And now I went for 4 straight months, living there in Missouri in the trailer with no water. I mean, by the gallon, the distilled, but no running water at all, and it's freezing. Okay, so I did fresh on my face, my hair, my eyes, my ears. I did all of that fresh, and then I used age to do my body. And, I just spray it on, rub it in. I've never, now maybe I've just become, maybe immune to it. I don't think so. Because I read energy. And when people, when you're like smell offensive, generally you can see body language when you're even standing in a grocery line or something. I mean, when you're standing next to somebody who reeks, and I don't care if they reek from they've been peeing themselves or they got on some fucking cologne or perfume or some other crap that is just. Have you ever walked down a grocery aisle and you can smell that perfume all the way down the aisle? Now
Yeah,
that's
nasty.
offensive. That shit's
Yeah,
offensive. That's invasive to me.
yeah, same here.
Really big time.
Yeah, yeah, it's destroying people's health. Here's another down thing in society. It's not just that urine's not a waste product, but it's also that these things that smell good, like artificial foods from McDonald's, like the perfumes, the colognes, all these things that we think smell good are actually really, really damaging the lungs and the whole body system. So
Totally.
it's a
And all the
sudden waste. It's
lotions and potions. It was funny because I was hanging with Tony and her family, and I was out with her, having a moment with her husband on the deck, and I was sun gazing. And he
all
looked
right.
at me
Yeah,
and he's
cool.
like, "Don't stare at the sun." And I went, "I stare at the sun all the time, man. I get as
Yeah.
much
I
sunshine
saw
as."
that. I saw that. I saw you talking about that in a recent one with one of your guests. Yeah, you said you sun gazed and the eyes that were like a prism, right? You danced with the sun or something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
all the
yeah.
colors.
No, I mean, and I wear my blue blockers, my orange glasses. I wear them because I can just hang for an hour, and
Yeah,
it's amazing what happens immediately. Immediately, once I
yeah,
focus on the
yeah,
sun, all of a
yeah.
sudden it this blue halo almost, and it's like about 4 or 5 times the size of the sun itself. It's this blueness that just
Oh,
opens up, and the sun just becomes like a strobe light almost, it's like a disco, really. I can start seeing this spinning action. It's like a
okay.
rotation. And then I start seeing the colorization. Then I start seeing the psychedelic parts. So it
Good lord.
becomes, yeah, yeah, no, it's really quite profound. I mean, it's really amazing to me how photosynthesis works, why it
Yeah,
works.
that's sun gazing is like I think I've been doing it. I've been getting sun gazing only. I've only been doing it the past couple of months. I've only learned about it recently, and I think I've been doing it kind of wrong. So I've been
I
looking
don't
at it,
think that,
and I've been
it's like P therapy. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. You have to, this is the thing I assure
kind of
people always. I say, trust your instincts, number one. Listen to your body. Don't force
yeah,
feed it. Don't be obsessive because that shit is bullshit. You're gonna fuck yourself up. You will. Yeah, if you
true.
don't listen to your body and trust your instincts, these are critical in
But
my mind.
yeah, but for me, I'm not saying I'm doing it wrong. I'd say I've been doing it less powerfully because I've noticed that because I've been depressed a lot of my life, and perhaps I still am now, I have a lot of tension in my face and my jaw, and so that tension in the jaw actually affected my eyesight because when you have tension in the jaw, it kind of closes and makes your eyes squint. So I've realized recently that when I relax my jaw and if I soft gaze at the sun, don't put pressure on my eyes, relax my jaw and face, I seem to get more value, and it seems the power of the sun seems to hit me a lot more, a lot deeper than if you're really trying to look at the sun and you're very tense, it won't happen as well. Like the benefits from it.
Right, right, right. And again, this is, like I was out, I got here in Western Washington Saturday, and I had a really glorious opportunity on Sunday to chill. I put 2,800, almost 3,000 miles on the road in just, a little under 2 weeks. And I'm only halfway through my journey at this point. So, there's a lot of compression and decompression. And so I was able to actually do a hot tub 2 times. I sat and soaked up the sun gazed, just chilled, and I'm digging it. And I'm so like to be in this moment with you, Harry. I've been waiting for this moment for a while. So, like, am I having fun? I'm having fun now. Ha ha.
Mm.
I love you,
But
Harry, man. This shit's
no,
for
I love
real,
you too.
man.
I have so much love for all of the people on Facebook that are so proactive. The people that are, even the people that are learning and just getting into it, and then they stick around. So people get excited because they're learning, they apply it, and then all these people in our little groups, in our little Facebook groups, all you guys that keep doing amazing work. Sometimes I think I don't have the patience myself for all these newbie questions, and yet some of you guys are like, some of them are just like always answering. Carol's, Brian, always Glenn, they're always commenting.
Well, and here's
Gerald as
where,
well.
yeah, this is a really interesting point. Let's look at this one for a minute because I agree. Okay, now most people don't realize how much I spend probably 40 or 50 hours a week in production. Now, most
Whoa.
people can't comprehend what that means.
That's more than a full-time job. That's more than a
It's a,
full-time job, isn't it?
and it's like, well, what do you do? Why can't I just answer all the PMs? I mean, there's times it's like people are almost stalking me. Okay, I turn on
Yeah.
my computer at 4 in the morning because I happen to be up and awake, and oh, he's online. 5 PMs will shoot across, and I'm like, wow, man, I haven't even had my fucking wake up call yet. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and I love them. I adore them. I appreciate them. They're lovely people. A lot of them are on the other side of the world. Okay, they're in Africa. They're in India. They're in different places. They don't even think about it. They don't think, oh shit, it's like 3:30, 4 in the morning. You know, brother hasn't even taken a dump or whatever, right? They don't even see it in that light. They're just like, oh, he's online. So the point I'm making is that, people just don't understand what we devote our time to. And I like me time. I don't get, I make sure I keep balance in my life. I do a lot of production. I do a lot of private counseling. I mean, I help people in every way I know how because I just want to see humans heal. That's my whole
Yeah.
mission. That's my whole purpose. That's all I focus on. How can we keep shifting the paradigm so that we are living in, glorious times with people that are healing themselves, not looking outside themselves, discovering who they are within and
Yeah.
realizing it's all an inside job. They're taking responsibility for the proactive, not to just do the body, but the mind and the heart. And there's no better self love than urine therapy. It doesn't get any better than that. I
Oh yeah,
can,
brother. Yeah.
doesn't
It's
get any
like
better,
it's like
right?
I get it's like this, Kaike. Like, can you imagine, like, your last day on Earth? Would you not be, in some way or form, taking the urine in somewhere? Like, everyone's last day.
Yeah,
Like, people are passionate about this. I can't imagine not doing it on my last day.
yeah.
Even if it's just a passion. It's just the healthiest thing. It's the thing that we were meant to do. It's the easiest. It's free. It's life changing. It's polarizing. It keeps away the bad people and sends us the good people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
No, it's a self cleansing unit.
Yeah, for
I
real.
love that part. Yeah, well, and this is the beauty of it all. And I make this real clear. Okay, now if you look at man's higher consciousness, Hilton Hotemus, okay, he doesn't even talk about pee. He talks about fasting, how to be a
Yeah,
breatharian, how to live on photosynthesis. He teaches us. You read Martha Christie. She teaches you all about urine therapy. You read Dave Moore, allegedly Dave. He goes through
yeah,
the mental, the physiological, and he goes through a lot of different, he's a bright guy. I like allegedly Dave. He's smart. He does a
yeah,
lot
man.
of homework, right? But
Yeah,
all you have to do is trust your own experience. Trust your
hell yeah.
instincts. Listen to your own body. Trust your,
Yeah,
if you think that you're going to find a UT guru, think again. You are the UT guru. Okay? There's
yeah.
nobody
As long as you're
better.
producing your own pee, as
Yeah.
long as you're producing your own pee, you are your own guru.
Yeah, you
You're
don't
the
need
one.
anything more than that to discover the magic that lives within. And if you practice this, you're going to see results. You're going to shift your paradigm, and you
Yeah,
don't have to point outside yourself like, oh God, this person's going to help me. I can guide you, I can lead you to knowledge, but I can't make you think ever.
exactly. Yeah. I'd like to say as well, like one thing you said about wherever you're at, because actually, maybe I didn't say, but I started it on a really bad diet 2 years ago. So my diet was really bad, and I used to eat lots of meat, and I used to overeat, and I did it, and I felt the difference still, despite all the crap I was eating and all the depression I didn't even know I had. So it changes everything. Doesn't matter from what point your audience. If someone's listening to this and thinking, I eat crappy food, is this going to help me? The answer is yeah. It helps
Yes.
you actually more. The difference is more profound actually. The more unhealthy you are. So
Yes.
the worse off your situation, the more profound and the more reference experience you're going to get of how powerful it is. And then it starts. Then you start hopefully realizing the taste ain't too nice, and you want to improve your diet a little bit just because the taste ain't good. Then
Well,
your
and,
diet
and
becomes
let's
good.
talk about this for a minute, Harry, because this I think is important because people, oh, eat some pears, do this, it's going to taste like coconut water. Isn't that, the perfect cocktail? No, it doesn't work like that. The body is
Exactly.
constantly shifting, changing, shape shifting, depending on how much
Constantly.
stress you're under, duress you're under, how much work you're
Yep.
doing, how much exercise you're doing. Diet is only
Completely.
one faction because I
Yep.
fast. I mean, I am, I mean, I'll go for, in the course of the last 3 days, from Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, up until last night, I had a meal with Jean, but I had had two pears, two bananas, and five cuties. That's all I'd eaten on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday until last night.
Well,
Okay,
that's extreme.
so, and I was
That mean must
looping
be
like
great for work
crazy. I
then.
was on the road looping. Okay, I got it down
Yeah.
to a science in my new little car, man. I can pee in my glass and just keep driving, right? But it'll, depending on the stress, depending on, the intensity of my body, it'll constantly change. So it can go from a rich blend, that might be bitter, could be salty, could be this, cat, or the other, or pure water. And it can shift several times during the day. I recognize this in my own body. So why would it be different in anybody else's body, regardless of diet? Why would it be
Bingo.
different? So it's starting to understand and study your physiological, your mental, and emotionally
Yep.
driven body as well as the physical body. They're all relative
Yep.
in term, all of
Yeah,
them.
it's all connected. It's not just your physical health; it's your mind and emotional health has an influence on the quality of the peak. How much stress are you under? Are you living a life of your dreams? Are you working towards your passions? Are you miserable because you're working for somebody else? Are you miserable because of your relationships you need to get out of? That's going to influence, the aspect of your P. All these factors people don't think. People think it's just physical. It's a lot to do with your mind as well. How happy you are. If
It's
you're a happy
big.
person,
It's a
right?
complex but complete diet. And this is
Yeah,
why I encourage people, I don't care what it looks like, smells like, or tastes like. It's perfect food in my mind. And I
yeah.
just take it and I drink it. Now, like, do you ever take medicine because it makes you want to taste good or this, that, and the other? No, you do medicine because you think it's going to make you feel good. Now, the thing about urine, it'll not only make you feel good, but it'll fucking cure you of whatever your
Yep.
discomfort and disease is. It will actually cure you, not just medicate you or
Yep.
treat you, so
Yep.
that you can
I
get
mean,
past your moment.
yeah, every disease known to man can be cured with urine and urine fasting. The urine
Yes.
alone will do so much for any disease. I really profoundly believe in my heart. There's very few things that just by themselves can cure man, but one of them, the
P.
ultimate, is urine.
P will do it.
You can cure anything.
I
You
mean,
can
it's
cure
really
anything.
true, isn't it? I mean, really, Harry. I mean, you're doing this 2 years. I'm a year and a half in, but I mean, I swear by it. I don't know anything that I've ever learned about. And I had a miserable life physically, emotionally, and
Yeah.
mentally. All of those things were miserable. And I put on a good mask. I was the happy guy. I had a sense of humor and all that shit, but I was physically fucked up, and it was
Yeah.
emotionally driven and mentally, I kept focusing on my problems. I did. Just a couple of years ago, oh, my aching hands, my aching back, I kept focusing on it. And well, what do you get with focus? More of the same. And it wasn't
There you go.
until you're in therapy that I started turning my body around and I started noticing I'm feeling better. I'm looking better. It's happening. So what do I talk about? I talk about how good I feel. Now there's a
So you put on the
contrast,
pico. You put on the pico, and then the pico transformed you, correct?
and it's a total contrast. And what you think about, you bring about. And I can't impress that enough. I can't impress
Yeah.
that enough with people that you are bringing on anything that you consider constantly. And if you keep rethinking it, you're going to multiply it like a seismic. It'll turn to an earthquake, it'll turn to a tsunami.
Hell
So you
yeah.
might want to pay
Hell yeah.
attention to what you're paying attention to, you know?
Hell yeah.
And
But you know what?
again, this is all talking about the inside job, okay? I mean, it is. We are complete, perfect machines from the get go, from the stem cell energy, from the sperm in the egg. I mean, if you look at the miraculous existence of our beingness as a complete cycle, and
Yep.
if we can return to that understanding so that we're not separated from that appreciation, we're going to be way better off.
Yep.
I mean, what
100%.
happened after we came out of that beautiful womb? We get all
Yep.
slapped around, bitch slapped. Now they stick hepatitis B needles in your arm. You're only hours
Crazy.
old. I mean,
Crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That shit's crazy to me.
Yeah. Hey, Geigen, I want to ask you a question. I've been thinking about this. Like, so we do urine therapy is as if anyone answering in Facebook as well can answer this. I don't know the answer to this. So we do urine therapy and sniff it apparently through the nose as a fetus. Is that urine aged urine or is that fresh urine? Because the baby pees. Where does I'm thinking it might be aged urine, right?
Now, I'm only
Yes.
guessing. I'll guess on this one because
Yeah. Go on.
it's cyclomatic. Okay, so you're introducing and mom's introducing the amniotic fluid in a recycling measure, but it's still moving through in a plasma ultrafiltrate and it's also processing through bladder. So there, and whatever waste that your body is actually developing or producing and releasing goes through the umbilical cord. Hello? Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so if you are enmeshed and totally floating, and you're in complete flotation. It is you're like aquatic. You're like a sea mammal in the womb.
A liquidarian, right?
Totally,
You're a
full on.
liquidarian human.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so once
So
the
if that
water breaks
if
and
that's
you're
what's
released and now you're taking in your first, why do they think they got to slug you in order to get you breathing? That's a question that I've always been curious about. Why do they hang you upside down, slap you?
yeah,
Now, what a
that's
rude awakening. Yikes.
yeah, and then cutting the umbilical cord too early as well. They should leave the umbilical cord on for at least 5 minutes. I think longer, to be honest with you. But they cut the umbilical cord as soon as the baby comes out, and that affects the oxygen levels of the baby. That's a very dangerous practice that everyone seems to be doing now, which is crazy.
Yeah, let's just slap them. Let's stick a needle in their arm. Let's cut their dick off and see how they make out. Ha! You wonder why there's so many fucked up humans.
Yeah,
Think about
right.
it. Our
I remember
indoctrination, our indoctrination into life is rude. By
yeah,
our Western culture particularly. It varies from cultures, but our Western culture, rude. The whole thing has been like total. Unless you're doing now, I really appreciate people that do the home birth and the aquatic. They're doing it in bathtubs, and they're moving it from one energy field into another energy field just naturally and beautifully. Being born
yeah,
from water to water, that's pretty cool right there. The
right, yeah.
aquatic birth.
From our own waters to some
Right.
other waters. Yeah,
Just a slow and easy transition from one waters to the other waters, and then you're still connected with the umbilical cord. You're learning how to breastfeed. I mean, these are natural orders, and they've been
yeah,
completely hijacked away from why, let's see, let's go to fucked up people 101. How can we fuck them up? What's our best
yeah.
method? Let's start right from the beginning.
right? Let's indoctrinate them that urine is waste product.
Oh
Promote it on the
God.
newspapers. Promote it around everywhere. Get it that nasty smell. Tell people to wash their hands when they go to the toilet, like because it's obviously dirty,
Yeah,
right? It doesn't heal you. Like
I know.
they start from dot one. The whole point of the system is to like indoctrinate us to disempower us from the fact that we are, I believe, created beings. We are all powerful creatures of God. We all have God inside us, and their idea is let's disempower the little minions. Let's make them feel worthless. Let's make them unhealthy. Let's get them addicted to big pharma, chemo, radiation. Let's get them suffering in pain, dying early. That's their plan for us. But do you know what? Everyone I have massive respect for that does urine therapy because we are taking back our power. We are
Yes.
controlling our health. Controlling your health is something that doesn't require money, especially urine therapy. Everyone has the chance to take back their health and to say fuck you to the people in power. That's how we do it. That's why I do it as well. A lot of the reason why I do it is because I want to say fuck you to the people that want me to die early, want my family and friends to die early. I'm not going to have any of it. So I'm going to use what God gave me, which is my own urine, and carry on using that. And regardless of what people think, I don't care because it's so powerful. And I'll carry on, and you'll carry on, Kaiki. And everyone here on Facebook that is trying it, all those warriors that are always on Facebook talking and telling friends in real life as well. Because you know what? There's a lot of people in real life that don't go on Facebook. Brian made a good point. There's a lot of urine therapy people that I met as well that don't get involved in our groups, but they still practice urine therapy. And they're just as much to be admired as our own crew, right? We've got our crew on Facebook, but there's a lot of people doing it, especially in China, Germany. There's loads of people practicing this. Like they don't talk about it in these spheres.
Well,
So yeah,
and I know from my own analytics, okay, just on my YouTube channel, which is only a little over a year old, and I do have I have 400 videos that I've produced on there from my channel. Not to mention all the other people that I'd load in there and other files because I think their information's interesting. So my channel actually has many stations, but my own personal channel of what I've produced, there's 400 videos plus, and it's growing every day, every week. I keep producing. Now, why? Because I wanted to journalize my journey. That's how it really started. But more importantly, the reach, the outreach of people that are becoming at one-ment. They're in atonement. They're awakening to their own possibility, potential, and beautiful operative that they can control. Everything they've ever
yep,
done, everything we've ever done, we were doing it out of control. This is something we can actually control. We don't have to look outside ourselves. It's an inside job. We can
yep,
find the healing in our mind, our heart, our spirit. And nothing changed my life more than urine therapy. Man, my heart softened, my mind opened, my
yep,
pineal gland got decalcified, my pain went away, my liquid joints again. All of these things were so profound. They were so
yep.
obvious.
It's
Yikes.
crazy. I mean,
Crazy
it's
cool.
probably the yeah, it's the most life altering. I don't think it's an accident either. I mean, this therapy's been going. It's been used in the Dharma Tantra, but it's been ebbing and flowing. So it's become popular and it's gone quiet. And I think this current resurgence is it's been deliberately put there to as a move by the creator, I believe, to take back the power from the psychopaths that run the world right now, who are
I
who've been
agree.
just really wanting a World War Three. They're begging for World War Three, and we're like, nope, we're not. The creator's like, we can't let the psychopaths run. So here's the urine therapy is one thing for power to empower us to become more healthy and to take back our power from these bastards.
Yes.
So yeah,
No, I totally agree. And I dropped the bannerism, I dropped the labelism, I dropped the criticism, I dropped the judgments, I dropped all of it. I just dropped it. Why? Because there's only one thing to focus on, that's love. All the rest of those are fear categoricals that are mythical at best to keep us distracted, annoyed, separated, and divided so that we never unify.
yep,
P to
yep,
me is the river of life. It's the water of life. It really unites us. It gives us a real bond and personal
yep.
power that we've never been encouraged to consider. Follow the
Yep.
program, get with the program, follow the protocol, do your memorization of indoctrination so that you're educated. So you got your plaque on the wall, the right shoes, the right car, the trophy wife, and the bullshit job that gives you some bullshit, so you can go root for the home team, eat your pizza, drink beer, and slop it on the person in front of you while you're cheering for the fucking home team. Give them cake and circus. And we live in
Yeah.
this. This is a fucking zombie apocalypse that we are surrounded by. Now, pee
Yep.
drinkers to me have greater clarity than anybody I have had the privilege of knowing in a collective. In a collective. It's amazing.
Yep.
I mean, it really
I,
blows my mind.
I,
It really does.
I think I really think like in hierarchy of health, I think that urine therapy comes above fruitarianism. I mean, I promote fruits, and I think fruits is the ideal for people to eat, and obviously non-meats, non-dairy. But I think urine therapy is the number one health protocol for everybody to be on. That's going to get you to that place of your highest, best version of yourself, and healthiest and happiest that you can get in the quickest amount of time. I really believe that, and
Yeah, I do too. Absolutely
yeah,
unconditionally. That's why I don't argue about all that stuff. I don't
yeah,
argue
and
about it.
as it ages as well, I mean, I don't think it's an accident that this thing, when it just interacts with oxygen and it becomes super powerful, and what the stem cells go crazy and everything, all the goodies in it just proliferate like crazy. Is that an accident? I don't know. I really don't think that's an accident.
No,
It,
I
it,
agree.
it, you know,
Yeah, we've been given a
it's
perfect design. I mean, it
yeah,
really is. Again, if you just look at the sperm and the egg and how we totally grow in an amniotic fluid and it forms our lungs and our skin and our brain and our bone. And I mean, when you really put it into a physiological understanding, it's a miracle.
yeah. I mean, and as well as it can be used for every single part of the body. So we're talking about you can take it through the mouth, you can drink it through the nose, you can use it in a neti pot, you can put it through your ears to heal your ears, you can put it on your forehead, decalcifies your pineal, you can take a urine bath, you can put it on your foot, you can take an enema, clears up your colon, you can massage it all over your skin so it interacts and clears out the lymph. Yeah, urine is
Miraculous.
amazing. It's beyond amazing. So anyone here that thinks that has got any kind of problem, it just clears it out, the fresh or the aged. It's beyond. I don't know anything else in the world that can do something like this, and it's free as well. And it's us. It is us. It's our lifeblood. It's part of our blood. It's just a piece of our blood. It's not a waste product. We're saying if you want to think of it as a waste product, you're saying your blood is a waste product. It's just a piece of your blood. It's a part of you. And your blood is not a waste product. Your blood is essential life force, right?
Yes.
So it can't be. It really can't be.
Well, and this is where, anybody that says, oh, urine is toxic waste, I said, if it was really toxic and waste, you'd already be dead. It's your blood.
Bingo.
Hello. Now, if you
Yep.
go and have blood drawn, the red cells will sink to the bottom. There'll be a clarity on the top, and that's urine. Hello.
Yeah, I love that. I got that from Dave Moore's book, actually. Yeah, I saw that. So the red sinks to the bottom, and the yellow plasma, the old plasma ultrafiltrate, is the urine, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is study it on a physiological scale to understand how powerful all this is. Why would Portageon partner with pharmaceuticals to harvest urine in the urinals? Why would
Yep.
they do
Yep.
that? Why would they
Yep.
spend multi billions of dollars to harvest cow, horse, and human urine? I
Yep.
mean, if there was no profit to be made, they spend billions. Billions. It's a multi billion dollar industry, urine harvesting. Now, if they're going to spend that much money harvesting, how much
Yep.
money do you think they're going to make with a product result? Hello.
Yep.
We're
It's
talking
crazy.
trillions.
Yep. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Guy, can I ask you a question? Have you done any urine fasting? Like,
Oh,
beyond, is it,
all
you said you did it.
of my fasts were urine fasts. Every one of them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, every one of them.
Okay. Yeah. Are they with fresh urine or aged urine?
Mostly,
Or
predominantly fresh. And here's the thing: I've got like 60 gallons aging right now,
Mm.
And
So what?
when I get back to Missouri, which I'm looking at when I'm leaving here. I think I'm going to schedule my second part with Jeffrey on Thursday. We haven't talked about it, but I think it'll work best. And I'm thinking I'm going to be out of here by Friday. And then
Mhm.
I'm going to Oregon and um, then to Reno, Salt Lake City, and all of
Oh
that.
wow.
But when I get back to Missouri, which I'm figuring it's going to be sometime next week, I'm going to start processing all that age. I'm going to go buy a kiddie pool because I figure, an inexpensive small kiddie pool rather than doing anything permanent because I'm going to move on probably after the symposium
Yeah.
because it was just too long cold of a winter. I'm going to find some winter quarters that are further south. Ha ha.
No.
So anyway, what I'm intending to do with all this aged urine
Mm.
is to get it down to the Ormus. So I'm going to
Ooh.
carefully pour this stuff into this, plastic, kiddie pool. And I'm
Ooh.
going to
No.
cover it with black visqueen, which will
Mm.
solar energize it. So for the summer months, I'm going to have my soaking aged urine bath that I'm going
Oh
to just
wow.
have outside. Now, I want to get to the Ormus, so I'm going to, not siphon, but carefully pour so I don't upset the sediments. Then I'm going to put all the sediments in a collective. And then when I get ready, I'm going to do what Rosalind recommends is to rinse it 3 times with fresh urine and then dry it
Yeah.
out. And then I'm going
I
to
heard
have
this.
my
I heard you talking
philosopher's
about this.
stone. I'm going to have all that
Right.
crystallized ormus. That's my intent.
Yeah, that sounds legit to me. That sounds crazy magic legit. Like I can dig that it's Ormus and that it can be created into some magical stuff, even though it's already powerful as Ormus, and then we
Yeah.
can reuse that. And, like
Well,
it
and
even gives
people
us
ask,
some.
what do you do with it? Well, you can mix it, you can form it, you can hold it, you can snort it. I don't care what you do with it. It's the power punch. There's your
Yeah,
essential oils. I mean, it's
for real.
crystallized, it's dried out, but you know what I'm saying. There's your
Yeah.
essentials. Big time.
I did a urine a few days ago. I did 24 hours without any food or drink apart from an age urine massage, and it wasn't that old. It was like 5 days old. It was sodarized though. I sodarized it for a long time. So I think the sodarizing process seems to make it age quicker. Kel told me that, and it seems to be
What
legit.
do you mean by that? I'm not sure what that term means.
Oh right, just to leave it out in a glass jar in the sun. So as soon as
Oh,
the sun
okay. Oh,
hits,
you're so yeah,
yeah.
I get you. Okay.
So yeah, I did that. So only 24 hours without eating food or water and just a bit of Adrian massaging 20 minutes. But by the end of the 24 hours, I was starting to get pains in my legs. And I remember these pains from when I was a kid growing up and I was getting taller and especially in puberty. I was getting a lot of these, I call them growing pains. I don't know what you call that, but it was the same pain. So what I'm thinking in my mind is the proliferation of stem cells in the aged urine, which is only 5 days old, the stem cells were actually so crazy that they were making. I'm 30. I'm supposed to not grow any older, but I was getting these pains, and these are the same pains I got as a kid growing up. So I can only conclude that the stem cells were so prolific in that age urine, and for the fasting as well, it kind of cleared me out. So I had loads of stem cells, very clean body. I was growing, and I shouldn't be growing according to science. I shouldn't grow at 30 years old. So I'm
Well,
still growing with.
I'm Benjamin Buttons.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. I mean, and age has nothing to do with how you feel. And I feel healthier and stronger and more complete and holistic than I've ever felt in my entire life. I've never felt this good. Never have felt this
And
good.
you never look. None of us have ever looked this good either. Those of us that practice this a lot, we all seem to be aging backwards in our skin, and people seem to be commenting to our friends and family are like wondering, even if they don't believe in the urine, like they seem to be thinking, what's going on here? These people are looking younger every day. There's something going on, right?
Yes, of course. And, people either get it or they don't get it. They'll do it or they won't do it. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I don't really give a shit what anybody does or says or thinks. Just like you. I mean, you're public like I am, and so you get all sorts of like goofy comments and stuff, and the way you address them shows your dignity, your self-respect and self-love, because you don't go there, you don't have to go there. You know, you're a solid character, and I
Oh,
respect. You know, I mean, it's I've been following you from the beginning, Harry. You know that. You know,
yeah, we've been friends for a long time, since
yeah,
year to
yeah.
year, man.
And you know, I just love it. I mean, it just, you know, because when you're willing to go balls to the wall no matter what and not give a shit what anybody does, says, or think, it speaks volumes. It
It
shows a
does.
real
Character.
high
It
level
builds
of
character. It
integrity.
builds it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. But, I do want to say, like, one thing for all the guys listening on the audience that are still promoting UT. In terms of planting seeds, I've had a lot. Like, I thought I wasn't at the beginning. I thought I wasn't making any headway. I wasn't changing anyone or having an impact. Just by promoting it constantly on my Facebook and talking about it on Messenger with everybody. But then I've had these weird reference experiences, like the same people that were just I thought were ignoring me or just laughing at me or just like not into it. All of a sudden now, recently in the past 5 months, people I never would have imagined, you know, because they were dissing it, and now all of a sudden, just because I kept going and we keep going about it, you put a seed in them and then they start drinking it.
Yeah,
It's like,
I got a perfect example of this, Harry, from my Saturday
yeah,
cartoon program that I shot there in Post Falls, Idaho. Okay, and that was brief. It was half an hour. But I've been friends with this one particular person over a couple years, and it started with being vegan. Okay, and you know, she's got her she does a lot of you know, kind of live. She has quite a following and stuff, and she really is a advocate pro vegan. So anyway, she came in on the cartoons on Saturday and made a couple comments, and I responded. And you know what? We exchanged numbers, and I'm going to hook up with her on my way into Oregon when I go through
cool.
Eugene, because she was curious. Now, this is a veteran, you know, has post-traumatic stress disorders, you know, has a lot of different issues that she's been working with. And I PM'd her before mentioning urine therapy, you know, for depression, for different things, you know. And, you know, here it is a couple years later, she was watching the program and she asked questions. She was curious. And I said, well, you know, you want to talk further? You know, so again, this is all I ever do. I don't give a shit what people do. I really don't. I love them, absolutely. I don't judge them. I give them all the room they need. But you
Yep.
just plant seeds, and that's what going public is really about. You know, you can play that hideout, you know, what's your secret? Oh, you know, it's a Hollywood secret. Yeah, you know.
That's it.
You know?
You got to plant seeds and be patient. You got to be really patient in this game. Like, you know, plant seeds, be patient, be yourself, have fun, drink the
Yeah,
pee, be healthy. Don't expect everybody to come on board. That's just part of life.
yeah.
People are stuck in the matrix, unfortunately. We're lucky to have broken free, but you know, we'll catch people. We'll carry on catching people. All the people listening right now are people we're catching or promoting or doing awesome things just like us. No one's
Yes.
better here, really. We're all pee drinkers. We're all pee drinkers.
Yeah. No, and I mean, even right now, you know, with Cornelius, Teresa, you know, Brian, you know, Shane. I mean, there's so many people. I mean, I can't keep track right now. There's a lot of people that are joining us, but they're proponents. You know, they're willing to be honest with themselves, and that's more important than anything. If you're willing to be honest with yourself, if you're willing to love yourself, respect yourself, and appreciate all of the gift that you are and have, you can give that away, give it away, give it away. There's no, you don't even have to give it any thought. There's no fear. There's no infraction. You're being authentic. What a concept. Show your true colors. They look good on you. You know, that masquerading shit, that's bullshit in my book. And I like the
Yeah.
authenticity of people. The more they show up and show their true colors, the more I celebrate them. You know, those bizarros, those weirdos, you know.
Oh yeah, it's weirdos. It's weirdos that change the world. It's people that have been desperate and have been through really tough times and have really had scars that tend to be the most beautiful souls, the people that have the more motivation to really make the world a better place. Everyone's got a purpose, and I think that, yeah, it's the weirdos that really made the world. I'm a weirdo, you're a weirdo.
Yeah,
Everyone, all my friends are
I
weirdos, so
celebrate
that's
it.
how I roll.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, there was this old jazz tune that was really great, and it was by an artist named Les McCann back in the day, and it was called Try to Make It Real Compared to What? Now, it's a simple thought. Try to make it real compared to what?
Exactly. What is normal anyway? I don't know.
You know?
Um, yeah.
Hello? So, yeah,
Yeah.
now, I'm sure some people might be interested in, you've done a lot of breathing, a lot of yoga, you've done a lot of other, you're practicing a lot of different life-changing modalities, yeah?
Um, yeah, sure. Yeah, I do practice a lot of other things now, aside from urine therapy, which is my base. It's my peacoat, as you want to put it. But yeah, I do a lot of things at the moment. I do sun gazing as much as possible now that I'm
I
into that one.
love
I know
it.
how
I
powerful.
love it.
It's so beautiful. It's
Sunbathing,
so
sun
beautiful.
gazing, I love it.
Oh, the sun is life. The sun is inside us. I think that the urine is the sunlight factory. The urine of the
Yes.
golden color is just the sun inside us. We are a manifestation, a denser form of light than the sun, but fruits also are a denser form of light. So the sun essentially gives us life, and it also heals us from all diseases. So you have
Yes.
to get a lot of sun. It's essential.
Well,
So
it's
that's
our
just why I'm
photosynthesis.
yeah, yeah, photosynthesis, right? That's how we create, get our protein from plants, not from meat,
Yes.
right? We get
It's
it from
exactly
plants,
it.
not from
People don't
meat.
understand how simple this is in reasoning. We're no different than the
Right.
trees or plants or anything else. Under photosynthesis, we can, air, sunlight,
Yep.
and we have our
Air
own
and
waters.
pure air as well. Like
Yeah.
because city air unfortunately is not so good as the pure air of like going to the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
Living up high in the mountains. You want to breathe. Go on holiday to places where there's nice, pure, fresh air, where you can really like heal your lungs from all these diseases and
Yes,
become the best
but
version.
and what I've also, and I want to make a point of this is because it's true in my experience, and I think it's true in others, is that because of the urine therapy, you have that higher frequency, that greater peacoat protection, and so even with the chemtrails and these other things, I always feel under, my own protection. I just feel under my own protection by drinking my pee.
Yep, exactly. You
But
drink
I
your
mean, I
pee
do
and
get your point. I mean, we live in toxic environments, and that's why I think it's important to be a proactive pee drinker because you're constantly in your healing. You're just constantly proactively healing. So you don't even
yeah,
have to worry about
you
it.
Yeah, you've got to do what you can to protect yourself from this poisonous environment that we do. And pee is one of the most. You can do sun gazing. You must get as much sun as possible. Be a big fan of the sun. Don't worry about getting too much sun because you know what? We've got the aged urine or the fresh urine on our skin that it'll be impossible to get your skin sunburned with aged urine and fresh urine on your skin. Everyone's
Yes.
skin glows. Everyone's skin glows, and you get such a beautiful tan when you go into the sun with your urine as a coat on the massaging it over the areas exposed to the sun. It's so beautiful. It's not a coincidence that that urine is there as a sun protection either. Very,
Yes. No, totally
very unique.
agreed. And my body just loved. I've always been a sunny boy. I mean, I've always been a sun worshiper as far as, and
Yeah,
I never put on lotions to promote it or screens to prevent it, or I never did. I've never done that ever.
yeah. It's crazy.
I
Absolutely crazy.
let it happen according to its own natural accord. And now with the urine therapy, it's exactly right. If you want to, especially if you happen to burn, get some aged or even fresh. If you don't have the age, rub it in. Man, it'll heal it
Yeah.
real fast, really
Real fast, your
effectively.
skin will look perfect. Your
It'll look
skin will look
perfect. You
divine.
won't have the burn, the blemish, that you won't have any of that shit going on. None
Yeah,
of it.
and it's the 3-5% urea that people think is a waste product is not. That urea is magic. It's absolute magic for your skin.
Yes, it is. Ha ha.
Right? Keep
So
it natural.
let's talk about some of these breathing exercises because,
Oh,
people are always going like, when do you breathe? But I know that you do it as an exercise. I mean, as a mantra, as a practitioner. Tell us about that.
Sure. Yeah, so there's the breathing exercises I used to do, which I've stopped now, but I should get back to, which is very powerful, is the Wim Hof breathing, right? So the Wim Hof breathing would be a form of hyperventilation, but controlled hyperventilation. So breathing really fast through the nose and out through the mouth. And it gives you a surge of adrenaline. It boosts your immune system. It makes you less cold, so you can go into a cold environment and not feel the cold. It enhances your deep breathing, deep diaphragmatic breathing. I think breath is life, like how you breathe affects how you feel and how you heal as well. How you breathe affects how you feel and heal. And I think a lot of society, because of stress, we don't breathe properly. And when we don't breathe properly, we create diseases. So another tool in the arsenal as well of urine therapy, sun gazing, is better breathing. And that's very simple. You can just practice methods like the Wim Hof. Also, there's another one called the Butieko method. I'm sure a lot of people watching know about that. So the Butieko method would be breathing through your nose and not breathing through your mouth at all times, even at nighttime. But also, it would be practicing holding your breath for long periods of time. And when we hold our breath for long periods of time, what we're doing is we're mimicking what it's like to live in a high altitude situation where there's low oxygen. So what I'm trying to say is when we practice breath holding, we're putting our body through a form of stress, oxygen stress. By depriving it of oxygen, we make our body react in a stronger way. So now we're breathing more efficiently after we practice like 3 or 4 times, just holding our breath as long as possible. So very easy, just like on the inhale or exhale, on a normal breath, just hold your breath as long as you can. Do that 3 or 4 times, wait a minute, do it 3 or 4 times, and then you're going to breathe way more efficiently, and you're going to breathe more slowly and deeply, and you're going to become like a person that lives up in the mountains of Peru, but you're living at sea level. So you're going to get loads of health benefits. And I found that really powerful, the Butieko breathing method. When we practice it, you've got to practice it every day to be consistent, but it's very easy, and it's very powerful for your happiness, I found, for sure.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And there's, I know that even with Eric Casano, he was doing, lots of different breathing practitionering concepts. There's
Yeah,
variables, right? I mean,
yeah.
besides just our innate
Oh,
breathing, which we
sure.
do on, without even having to think, I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah, I heard
normal,
that one.
if you're not having
Yeah, I
health
heard that.
issues, I mean, you just breathe. It's just, you don't have to think about it.
Sure. The thing with just breathing is that normally is that because we have stress in our lives, we tend to adopt an unhealthy breathing pattern. So we can do exercises to put our system under a little bit of stress so that we can breathe like a baby. What we really want is to breathe like we always knew how to breathe when we were a baby, right? A baby knows how to breathe, but
Yes.
an adult forgets. An adult forgets how to breathe because an adult has stresses of financial, worries about friends and family and what they're doing with their lives. So really, we do breathing exercises. We're just reminding ourselves of how we used to breathe and making a more efficient process, really. And as such a simple hack, I'm saying, like what? Just hold your breath 3 or 4 times with a minute in between, and that's it. You're going to breathe better? Yeah, that's all you can do. And that's going to make your breathing gait much more improved. You're going to feel more happy. You're going to breathe better.
Yes. And, I, generally speaking, I mean, I don't even give it any consideration. Now, sometimes I do feel it, and I pay attention to that when it occurs. And there's variables involved of why that might occur. And I don't trip on it too much because naturally, normally, I breathe pretty good and I've overcome COPD as well. So,
Right? Yeah.
and I
One of the
smoke.
things.
I mean, I don't smoke all the time, but lately, like with being on the road, it's like a traveling companion to me. It's a stimulant, and so I don't trip on it. I can take it or leave it, and I accept the responsibility for doing it. I don't trip on it.
Uh,
The
no,
fact
yeah.
is, just because I am doing what I'm doing with the urine therapy, I always feel like my body is I listen to my body. I trust my instincts. I listen to my body. And, if I'm not enjoying myself, I won't do that shit. That's the
Yeah.
simplest bottom line. I don't do anything out of a forced habit. If I do it, it's because I happen to be enjoying it. And when I quit enjoying it, I quit doing it. It's not
Right?
addictive anymore.
That's a really good philosophy. I like that philosophy, definitely. Do what you do, and what you don't enjoy doing, just don't
Just
waste your
stop
time
doing it.
stressing. Don't
Yeah,
waste your time
because
stressing with it. Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
especially when you're talking about, addictive process. I don't care if it's sugar, salt, cigarettes, alcohol, food, whatever you're doing. If you have guilt on top of it, if you have other compressed depression and distress and all those things because you happen to be doing it, all you're
Yep.
doing is compounding it and multiplying it in a seismic form. If you're going to do it, just
Yeah.
do it. Just do it. Enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Don't beat yourself up over it. That's
Yep.
ridiculous.
And you know what? When you drink your pee as well, even if you don't do breathing exercises, it changes the gait of your breathing. Like, as soon as you take the first shot of your fresh pee, whoever's listening who hasn't tried their pee yet, the first time you take your pee, you're going to breathe deep for the first time in your life. You'll experience it. You'll be like, what? Have I just taken some oxygen or something into my body? Yeah, you have. You've taken pure H2O, distilled water in 96% in that urine. That's what happens when you take in urine, fresh urine. You get a shot of oxygen, pure, non-garbage, non-rocks, non-spring water, pure distilled water. You're getting a shot of that straight into your lungs, and it heals everything, because breathing heals everything. And when we drink urine, I think it affects the breathing in such a major way. You start breathing like a baby again. I think that
Yes.
alone does it.
No,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And the first thing our blood goes through is our lungs. First place. Okay, that's
Yep.
where it runs its first cleansing in its
Yep.
cycles as it runs through our body. And the
Oh yeah.
last stage is always the kidney, which then produces the plasma ultrafiltrate, which is our urine.
Yep.
I mean, when you look at it on a physiological schedule of how our body operates, if you understand that food does not provide nutrition, that's mythical. Okay? That's
I agree
been
with that one.
promoted by
Yep.
food industries. It's mythical. It goes in our
Yep.
mouth, it goes down our throat, it goes to our stomach, our small into our large intestines, into our bowels, out our ass, and there it goes. It doesn't go into our.
Food provides a stimulant, so it feels nice, right? It's an illusion. It feels like a stimulant. It stimulates us, much like meat stimulates us. But it's
Yes.
not real. It's not real energy. The real energy lies within the emptiness and the purity of your body, which you have as a baby, but you've forgotten. And that's why when we do the urine fasts or the urine with eating not too much food or eating pure like fruits, that returns us to our former baby selves. Our energy system, I think Monica's right. She put the seed into me a while back, and she talks about it a lot, and you talk about it as well. Like our body, and Dave Moore as well. The body is a free energy device system. It's got Kundalini firing from the bottom, from the base of the spine up to the top, and because we don't feel this, because we are impure beings and we are unhealthy and we don't drink our own pee and we don't look after ourselves. But when we start drinking the pee, we start breathing, we start sun gazing, we start fasting on urine, we start fasting on nothing. We start realizing, whoa, I feel really good without food. So I'm getting more energy when I'm fasting than when I do when I eat. And then you start waking up and thinking, yeah, you know what? Kaika's right. The nutrition is a myth. Food is not necessary. It might even have been possible. You start thinking that we were breatharians. Maybe we can't do it now, but you start thinking in your mind, you know what? We probably were breatharians.
Well,
It's just,
that's why I love Hilton Hotemas's book, Man's Higher Consciousness, and he doesn't even talk about urine therapy. So if you really want to understand our nature of beingness as a potential for breatharianism, there's a lot of wisdom in there. There's a lot of food for thought in that book. Now, I met a breatharian back in 1999 when I had my shows in Sedona, Arizona. I had a woman who was a Zion, this beautiful, tall, slender black woman who was a backup singer in my band. And she was the first breatharian I ever met. And she was for real. I'd never even heard the term. I thought, how curious. So when I started the urine therapy and Dave talked about man's higher consciousness, I went ahead and ordered it. I mean, as soon as I heard about these books, I just ordered them because I wanted to understand. And I've not only read them, I've reread them and reread them and reread them because I really want to gather that knowledge. Now, let's talk about fasting. People think
Yeah.
they're going to starve themselves to death. No, fasting is about the healthiest consideration you can offer your body for healing, because 80% of our body energy is consumed by processing the information we put in our mouth to get it out our ass. 80% of our body
Yeah.
energy is doing that. Now, how
Crazy.
can your
Yeah.
body ever possibly heal if you're eating 3 meals a day and running a gluttony where your body never has a chance? Can't even pay
Yeah.
attention. Huh.
Yeah. They got us hook, like, and sinker with this idea that the breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You have to
Break
constantly snack.
fast.
Yeah. You got to break your fast. You got to carry on eating, and don't let your blood sugars drop, because if your blood sugars drop, you're going to become really weak and angry. And you know what? You will, because if you've never fasted before, and you do get angry at the beginning, and it's not because it's because your body's unclean, and it's a detox. People misassociate detox with not eating, and thinking not eating is not healthy because they feel awful. They feel awful because their body is trying to heal. And when we fast at the beginning, the poisons come out into the bloodstream, and it feels horrible. It feels like you've got no energy, and people give up at this point, and then they say to themselves, "Do you know what? I tried fasting. I tried urine fasting, but I got a headache. I got my legs became really weak. I got nausea, and
Right.
they didn't equate that with healing. They equated that with the methodology of fasting not working, not realizing that their body was so poisonous that it needed to go through that phase to try and heal. And I really don't. People get stuck in that phase. They really believe that food is necessary and not eating makes them weak. And
Yes.
it's true, but it's only because they're unclean. And if they don't persist with fasting, all they're doing is those toxins that are never coming out because they've given up fasting, they're going inside the body, and they're staying inside the body. They're hiding deeper and deeper. And 10, 20, 30 years from now, they're going to get major problems. They're going to get cancer. They're going to get all kinds of major illnesses. If people don't fast and you take urine, I think that, the prognosis does not look good. They will have all kinds of problems at 50, 60, 70, 80. They will, even if they live long, they won't live a healthy life like we should have. I believe man should be healthy up to 100, 120. And I mean healthy. I mean that.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I see
completely holistic, completely
completely.
self-contained, no
Yeah,
distress.
I've seen videos of people doing yoga 104. I'm sure you've seen it, Kaike. The people are doing videos, yoga, 104-year-old lady doing yoga. That's possible. I mean, that's possible to live a great life at that age, not just to cripple 100. I don't want that. I don't know how long I'm going to live. I don't know how long we're all going to live. But I'm going to try my best to be as healthy as I can, as an example for other people, and because it makes me happy. That's what I want for myself. We can
Yeah,
control so much. We can control so much about our health, and urine therapy is just one of those major weapons that we got to be an inspiration to other people, to see how long and how healthy we can be. For real.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when you don't feel good, you're and I was this way, like I said earlier in this conversation, where I was focusing on my misery, on my pain, on my disease and my illness, and I just kept promoting it because I focused on it. Now, most
Yeah.
people are in this conversation. They don't feel good. That's why they take, they have acid reflux, they have indigestion, they have heartburn and hemorrhoids and, eczema and acne and, I mean, whatever, right? It goes on and on and on. I mean, people distress themselves to a point of dis-ease, and they
Yep.
manifest and manufacture illnesses. A lot of that has to do with highly acidic diets. So then we're
Yep.
calcifying our body, and we're doing all the wrong things according to what has been recommended to us as being the proper thing to do. Eat your
Right.
breakfast, eat your eggs, eat your ham, eat your bacon, drink your milk. Wonder Bread builds strong bodies in 12 ways. They still have fucking Wonder Bread on the market. I can't even believe it. Yeah, I mean, I
Yep.
can't believe that shit. That is still on the market shelves.
Crazy, huh?
It's crazy, man. And we've been sold a bill of goods. Now, this is another conversation that's really important for most people because they don't understand how well oiled this machine is. Now,
Yeah.
there's a man named Eric Bernays. And No, is it Eric? Edward Bernays. And Edward Bernays wrote a book called Propaganda back in the late early 1900s. And this became a Bible to industrialists and other charismatic people who wanted to take over the world. Ha ha! And they know how to run this playbook, okay? So we've been, really have been in complete propaganda about education, about banking, about religion, about politics, about Department of Defense, about every aspect of our government, about the agricultural business, pharmaceutical industries, the medical industries. They're fabricated into propaganda. And we have been
Yep.
led to believe that all of these ideas and methodologies and practices and nutrition, bullshit. We've been completely led in the wrong direction. Completely. Science
Yep.
too. Sorry.
Yep.
Don't want to disappoint you. But if you got a academic credentials, you may argue this point until you die because you'll never
Yep.
want to give up your credentials because you paid for that
Yep.
shit.
Do you know what? I failed uni. I failed uni twice in my first year, and I'm technically an official label as I'm an official failure at uni. But you know what? I'm 10 times smarter. This is all ego talk, huh? But for real, just because of my own experiments and what I've learned and what I constantly learn about life from my own experiences in health and wealth and self-improvement, I've learned that university doesn't mean a lot, and there's a lot of dumb people that come through the system, and people that are the smartest I've ever known, my friends, tend to be people that have failed at uni, not done through the system, rejected at school, bullied, gone through depression. These are the people that I really admire the most. The people that think outside the box, outside the matrix, who get out of the matrix. The people that get out of the matrix are the people that have gone through tough times, have learned for themselves, have decided not to follow orders, broken the rules, figured out things for themselves, and not just conformed like a little sheep. Like, that's
Yes.
what people do. Uni
No.
graduates, there's only one answer in the paper when you go to uni. They ask you questions. You've got one answer, one option. Life's not like that. Creativity's not like that. Life's not like that. You've got to constantly think for yourself, create, all these kind of things.
Yes. Well, the whole process of education is indoctrination and memorization of what they want you to know. There is no
Yep.
critical thinking. There's no creative thinking. There, you are the box. And when you don't see the box, then you don't even have to give it any consideration. You don't have to think outside the box. There is no box if you don't see it. That's a critical thinker. That's a creative thinker. That's a person that trusts their instincts and listen to their own info because we are in an indoctrination system that is leading us astray by design. Works good,
Yep.
well oiled machine. Take a look
Yep.
around. That's all you have to do. Give them cake and
I step outside.
circus.
Yeah, I step outside my house every day, and all I see is cancer charities talking about chemo. All I see is people that think that doctors know best, and urine is waste. And these are not the kind of things that the kind of things that I'm blessed that I got myself out of. And I'm very lucky. We're all very lucky here that we somehow, by some divine purpose, managed to waken up to this and got out of the system. Life has blessed us in many ways, and the people listening here, everyone that practices urotherapy is thinking about it is blessed to
Yeah.
be in this position that open-minded. Because to be closed-minded, I think would be one of the nightmares. If you're closed-minded, you haven't got a chance to heal yourself. You have to be open-minded because the truth lies in open-mindedness. It does not lie in closed-mindedness. Closed-minded people that are stubborn and think they know it all, when there's so much to learn in life, and to think that you know it all, it's not just arrogant, it's just wrong. It's wrong as well as arrogant. You're going to suffer. You've got to be open-minded. You've got to try things. You've got to experiment. You've got to be humble and realize that you might know a lot, but other people know more than you. You've got to learn from other people. You've got to learn from your own mistakes, all these kind of things, right?
Yeah, well, I've always felt that if you know everything, you learn nothing. I'm pretty stout
That's
about
true.
that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that narcissistic arrogance of, righteousness. And I'll tell people, I said, you may be righteous about the idea that you think you're right, but you are potentially incorrect.
Yep.
And you
For
might want
real.
to consider, that as an option to your righteous belief. You may have been misled. I call belief systems BS because that's what they are. They're bullshit. Belief systems. You're indoctrinated into believing something that may not be correct.
Yep. For real.
Yeah.
For real. And it's open-mindedness, but even with me, like, I like to learn off everybody. So I don't think like I'm better than other people. Like when I'm on urine therapy groups and Facebook, I can name all my friends here on UT, all the people you know, Kaike. I know something about them that I've learned from them about urine, or about other healing modalities that I apply now, that I still think about. I can name the person and the
Yes.
thing that I stick in my mind with each person that I know from my friends on Facebook that taught me about health. And that's the way it's got to be, because I do think I know a lot, and I've got a lot more to learn, but I'm always learning from other people. I'm not like I know it all. I'm just because I have experience, it doesn't mean I know what I know, but I want to know more, and I know that other people know more about some things than me. And
And
other
that,
people
and that
may
really
have,
shows, Harry, your enthusiasm alone, your childlike wonder. You know, you're
yeah,
magical. You're like a little kid, and I love you for that because
yeah,
you're so willing and open to accept and learn and transform and become better, no matter what it is, no risk. You just go for it. And I just admire that in you. I really
oh,
respect.
thank you, Kaike. That means a
You're
lot.
the
Yeah.
shit, dude.
We are the shit. We are the people. The power to the people, right?
Yeah, man, I just love it. You know, and I've never met more quality people in my life, really. I mean, not that I denounce others that I've known, like my friend here, Gene, who I'm going to introduce in the next We Do Wonders. But
Cool.
the people that drink their pee, they really are a different breed. There's no doubt. I mean, it's just
Yep.
something really different. It's just
Yep.
not usual.
This is the time where there's small pockets of people drinking their pee, but I hope in the next 10, 20, 30 years, this number of people is going to proliferate, where it gets to a stage where there's a lot and it becomes normal. I think in the future, this is going to be normal again. I really
Yeah.
believe that in my heart.
No, I too. I
Maybe we
do
won't,
too. I do. I do. I believe that.
I think, but maybe we won't see it, Kaiki. We'll see it from heaven, or, as infinite beings that we are when we die, because we carry on living. We'll see it from up there, but from on this plane, we'll carry on doing all that we can, and then our grandchildren, our grandkids, and our great grandkids will probably manifest and see the realities of the good work that we put in right now in this moment in time. Like, I can get emotional over this stuff, like the difference that we are making. It's legacy. We're not. It's beyond our lives, Kaike. It's not even the people that are watching now. It's beyond that. It's our grandkids. It's the future of mankind. We are the future. The pea drinkers are the future of mankind. You really are.
Yeah, I do. I mean, and this is why I started right out of the gate. You know, being open, honest, journalizing my journey, talking about it right up front, because
Yep.
it's about the message, and I'm simply a messenger. You know, and I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself because I'm being authentic. I get to be my real self. I get to do things that make me happy. I produce
Yep.
because I'm good at it. And it makes me happy. I have fun. I love doing these live interviews. This shit is awesome to me. I enjoy
Oh
this
yeah.
stuff.
You
And
see, you're
it,
playing to
we,
your strength. Everyone is born, I believe, with a strength that is unique to them. I believe it's God-given, but say you don't believe in God. You're born with a strength of personality, and it's your job to try and find what that strength of personality is and maximize the shit out of it, as you say, right? So
yeah,
you maximize the shit out of your personality, and that is your purpose. Your purpose is to maximize the shit out of something that only you have. You're a special being with a special, unique self. You maximize that, you will always be happy. And you will leave a beautiful legacy. Everyone you touch, everywhere you go, you'll just leave that. Leave
yeah.
that beautiful legacy of like yourself, your best self. And it's beautiful, man.
And
Beautiful.
that's what I encourage in everybody. Go inside, clean up the temple, learn to love yourself. And the fast track to doing that is drinking your pee. You'll open your heart, you'll open your, decalcify your mind, you know, your pineal and pituitary, and every part of your experience will start softening. You're going to love yourself like you never loved yourself before. I
Oh
guarantee
yeah.
that with anybody. I guarantee you start drinking your pee, you're going to have a self appreciation that you never understood.
Yep.
Ever.
All the blockages that you thought were you weren't you. Once
Yeah.
the blockages clear up, you'll see the true self. The real person underneath that isn't separate from other human beings. The real person underneath that is a God. You are a God.
Yes, the I am that I am. Hello.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it really is. And people, well, you don't talk about God. Well, I talk about God all the time. Actually, I've got a better acronym for God, anymore, and that's Golden ORIN Drink.
Yeah, nice. Golden ORIN Drink. Yeah, I like that. I like it.
There's my God, the I am that I am, my recycled, re-ORINed again, being be-ORIN again. I'm being be-ORIN.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really mean that. When you talk about born again, hey, I am being ORIN. I am be-ORIN again. So by drinking it, I am constantly reconstituting my origins, my ancestry, my truest DNA, amplifying my stem cell enzyme, which is constant. This is DNA. This is ancestral. We are our ancestors, and we are constantly recreating that. So by pissing down the toilet and flushing it, there's your toxic waste, man. Forget that shit. Drink it. Save it, age it, rub it, snort it. And enemize your shit with it because it's healthy. It's a healthy choice. Change your world.
You clean the vessel, and that's it. You will be the happiest and healthiest person you'll ever be. And then everyone around you will appreciate it. When you're happy, everyone loves you. Everyone, you love you when you're happy, but everyone gets happy when you're happy. And you're healthy, you're an inspiration to other people. And I think the best way to do it, like we said, and we're going to keep banging on and keep saying again and again and again, it's just pee. It's just this thing that, you think is smelly, but it heals us. It cures us. It cures every single disease. But beyond diseases, if you don't have a disease and you're thinking, why should I drink my pee? Because it raises your vibration. It makes you see who you really are. So forget about diseases. Fine, you don't have a disease. Just be healthy. Be happy. Drink your pee.
Well, I've been the whole time we've been talking, Harry, which we're like 90 minutes in now, I have refilled this 3 times, okay? Now, you're not seeing me right now, but I have refilled, my mason jar here 3 times. Yeah. I've been looping the whole time we've been broadcasting and drinking.
Oh, wow, cool.
Looping the whole time.
Yeah.
I got this shit down.
You nailed it.
I love it, man. It's so easy, man. It's just too easy. Girls have to, be a little bit more creative, in their process. We've been given the, cocktail.
We have indeed. Look at this for the males. If you want to argue against the waste product, we also reproduce our semen and we create life through that same end. So
exactly.
We're saying that the same end that creates life is going to now waste life and be a waste product.
Well, the same with the vagina. I mean, hey, look, we process a lot of shit out of our ass, okay? And actually most people don't process enough shit out of their ass because they got shit all up in their brain and in their heart. They're compressing it. They need to enemize that shit. They're full of shit. Their brains are full of shit, their heart's full of shit, their body's full of shit, and they're full of shit, and they reek. You can see it in their pallor. You can see it in their energy field. When people are not being authentic, or when they're not being cognizant of their health and doing anything proactive to actually improve their health, you can see it. They reek with it. It's crazy.
But it's so easy to improve your health. People think it's all about diet, and I think diet's important. But for me, my focus is on, you talked about earlier about what things I do. So I do sun gazing. I've changed how to do it. I do sun gazing. I do grounding as well as another therapy that costs nothing. Yeah, that's putting your foot on the ground. We were brought up doing this, our ancestors, to heal us, but we don't do it anymore because we wear shoes. So I do a lot of little things. There's fasting. There's breathing better. There's sun gazing. There's also retaining the semen if you're a gentleman. If you're a gentleman, and you're not having sex, you shouldn't be masturbating because that's just a waste of your life force. And it lowers your energy and it makes you unhealthy. To waste that semen on pictures and porn. And I've been guilty of this in the past, but now I see the light, as it were, and I'm practicing not doing it anymore, and seeing the powers of, not masturbating basically, and preserving my semen. My creation is within me. I'm not releasing it on these short-term gratification pictures. So I'm doing there's a lot of little things. If you did growing your hair long as well, I'm growing a beard right now because I know that's powerful. Some people think that's not, but the way I'm seeing it and the way I'm observing it, I'm getting crazy energy from this beard and this hair I'm growing. I'm only like 12, 13 weeks in. And you've got already long hair, Kaike, so I can imagine that hair that you're growing. And
I've
people that
been
have
doing
long hair,
I've been
especially,
doing long hair most of my life, although I've, went through phases where I actually shaved my head. Man, that was the bad haircut day. And more work than anything, but I do celebrate it, in it's not a fashion statement. It's a receptor. And I understand
yes.
that.
Yeah, it's a receptor, but I also think it gives. It's a bit controversial this, but I think it gives you extra energy it converts the sunlight into energy. So I think that it literally gives you extra energy as well as being an extension to your nervous system. Because I find I'm really energetic on just my hair. So there's so many things that people think, oh, health is all about buying expensive foods, buying expensive fruits. I can't find fruits. There is no excuse not to get the sun. There is no excuse not to ground. There is no excuse not to get the sun gazing, sunbathing. There is no excuse not to masturbate. You can just put a little discipline. There is no excuse not to overeat. You can learn slowly. You can learn slowly that to eat less, right? It's just a process. You're not going to all of a sudden one day wake up and eat less. You just eat less, a lot less. You're going to have to go through a process, a health journey. You're going to have to go through use a little willpower and discipline at the beginning to eat a little bit less food.
Well,
I realize
and
that,
looping makes that effortless as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
right,
looping just makes it effortless. I mean, drinking pee is like eating healthy. That's the way I look at it, and that's the way it feels. I'm never hungry. I eat
yep,
because I want to enjoy the experience. I don't eat because I'm hungry. I'm way past that mindset. I don't get hungry and eat. I eat because
yep,
it's just something that it conditionally is comfortable to me and I enjoy the process. That's all.
yep. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm still addicted to food, but I've come a long way from eating 3 square meals a day 5 years ago to now eating only 1 meal a day. And
Yeah.
still, I still do occasionally overeat. Don't get me wrong, but that 1 meal a day is a very powerful. If you overeat 1 meal a day, it's way more powerful than eating 3 small meals a day, in my opinion, from how
Yeah.
I've learnt it. So, because it gives you such a long time between the 24 hours between your last meal, or 23 hours between your last meal and the other one. It
Gives your
takes a lot of
body a
pressure.
lot of opportunity to heal itself. I mean,
Bingo,
it
like you're
just
doing the
does.
urine, the Shivam through the nose, age urine. It's just, there is so many health things that we can do that don't involve paying a lot of money that are free. I'm all about free stuff. I'm all about, because I'm not a rich person. I don't ever plan to have loads of money or to use money to buy health stuff. I always want to do free stuff because I was born in a beautiful body. So why should I be paying a lot of money to make it healthy when I can do some of the most powerful health protocols in the world are like free. Well,
Yeah.
fasting is free.
Fasting's
Fasting is free.
free, grounding, sun gazing, breathing, and
Yeah.
drinking pee. They're
Urine.
all free. And they're all the
Hell yeah.
healthiest choices. Save you a lot of
Yeah.
money.
They'll save your money. They'll save your money. They'll save your life. They'll make you healthy. They'll make you happy. They'll make you a better person. The people around you will benefit. Everyone benefits when you become healthier, when you start drinking. But this is the thing with pee. When you start drinking your pee and become healthier and happier, everyone benefits. Everyone around you, everyone benefits. Strangers on the street you smile at benefit. Every stranger you go up and talk to benefits. Every friend and family member you go and talk to benefits. Everyone you're going to meet in the future benefits from the fact that you take your life seriously enough, you care enough about your health to try drinking your pee. You change your life. You change other people's around you.
Yes. No, I'm totally agreed. I've never met more remarkable people, and like right now, like I can go to my analytics and there's people like 115 countries that have followed my YouTube channel. Now that's pretty humbling. I mean,
What?
that's just out there.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a lot for you.
115 countries. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's only like how many countries in the world? Is there 300 and
No,
200
there's
something, isn't it?
something like 169 or 70, something like that.
Whoa, that's nearly all of them. There's 150 hours. Whoa, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm on every continent. And so it's really humbling, quite frankly. Who would have guessed? I mean, even the whole idea of Weedy Shavambu was just because I was cracking myself up. I thought it was hilarious.
That's
But,
such a classic name. I think that's such a classic name.
I just
Oh,
thought it was funny as hell. We do Shivambu. Hey, we do. We do Shavambu.
oh, Kaiki, can I say one thing about Sarah Sanders asked me a question about dry fasting. I'd like to like
Oh,
just
yeah,
explain a little
please
bit.
do. Yeah, please go. Yeah.
So I also think the urine therapy is very powerful. I also think periods of dryness where we're not looping is very powerful as well. And the way I look at it is, it's like exercise is a form of stress that makes us stronger. Like holding our breath, the Buteyeko is a way of making us stronger because we're depriving ourselves of oxygen temporarily. I also look at the dry fasting, and I practiced it, but I look at it as a way of when you deprive yourself of food and water and urine, or just it's a period of dryness from everything. But when you do this, either daily or maybe a period of a couple of days, it makes us stronger. And if you want to know how to do it, so for me, we all do it when we sleep a little bit. So we don't eat or drink when we sleep. And the way I did it at the beginning was I just didn't have like any urine in the mornings. I just held out like a couple of hours and just a couple of hours in the morning till 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. And then I drank the urine and I extended my dry fast from 8 hours sleep to about 10, 12 hours, which doesn't sound like a much. But I got used to that. And then I thought, I feel really good. I feel much better now that I dry fasted for like 12 hours. So why not try and push myself and do another 1 or 2 hours? So I did. I did another 2 hours. And I thought, okay, I can do it till 2 now. I got used to that. And that's how you do it, really. For me, dry fasting is very powerful, but you can't rush into it. Because if you rush into it, you're going to experience maybe like a headache or nausea too quickly, which you don't want because your poisons are coming out too quick. So yeah, I think the best way for people, if they're wondering how to do dry fasting, is to recognize that you're doing it anyway. Everyone's doing it when they sleep. Just try and push yourself. Don't set unrealistic goals and go, I'm going to dry fast for 20 hours. But when you only ever dry fast when you sleep before and you always eat in the mornings, don't rush yourself. It's a slow process. It was a slow process for me. It may not look like on my Facebook that, I'm doing it slow, but actually everything I've learned in healing and therapy and dry fasting and urine, I'm still learning and I'm relearning and I'm making mistakes as well. Sometimes I forget to do things. Like maybe one day, I'm a bit different from you, Kaike. Sometimes I forget to drink my pee. I get lazy. Sometimes I forget to do my adrian massaging. But then it's good because when I forget to do something and I go back to it, I realize the power of what I did in the first place. Whereas if I was always doing it, sometimes I'm guilty of taking it for granted. So I like it when, in other words, I'm trying to encourage people. I like it. It's good not to get out of a practice, to fuck up a little bit sometimes, to forget, like to drink your pee, to forget to dry fast, to forget to do yoga, to forget to sun gaze and forget to ground, but then come back to it. And then you realize the power of these mythologies, the power of the pee, the power of all these things. So yeah.
Well, I think and this is something that I had to come to my own realization of, is compulsive, obsessive behavior. And I hit a wall, and it was profound for me. And I never recognized those behaviors in myself until I did. And recognizing them was important. So now I've learned to relax with it all, rather than have tos. I just allow it, and trust that whatever I'm doing is all good, every day, every moment I
That's very
breathe.
interesting. I think I'm getting to where you're at, but I'm young, and I think that my personality is very extreme. So in many ways, I'm toning it down. That's not my ideal, but I'm very happy with this stage of my journey where I'm just very extreme in how I do things because I want to learn. I'm very analytical. I want to learn exactly what's the most powerful therapy and exactly why this dry fasting works and why this work, which is more powerful. So for this stage of my journey, what I found, from this extreme personality that I've got, is that urine therapy is legit, but it's not just legit. It's going to be with me for life, and it's not even about the people, though I love you all very much. It's actually just the therapy works. It fucking works, and it works more powerfully than anything I've ever seen. So that's the reason why I keep on about it. That's the reason why I carry on promoting it. and I won't ever stop, and I won't ever stop drinking it.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the same way. And, like, let's go back to this dry fast concept.
Sure,
Now,
yeah,
I don't drink when I started out, I was doing masses of distilled water and all that. I don't now. I mean, I have a couple of cups of coffee. I was drinking some juice that, when I left Tony, she sent me off with some really cool fresh juicing and stuff like that. But for the most part, I just loop, generally speaking,
yeah,
outside of a couple of cups of coffee. I mean, I basically just loop. So I never induce water.
yeah,
I don't induce much of anything else except my pee. And
yeah,
I just find it works for me. In the
yeah.
simplest terms, it just works. It just kind of keeps me fluid, hydrated, cycling, not
Yeah.
hungry, energized. I mean, it's just effortless to me at this point. That's
Yeah.
one thing I can
Um,
consider constant. Now I got it down to a science while driving, doing 80 miles
okay.
an hour down the freeway. I love that part. I do. I mean, when I think when I was doing this recently, and I was thinking all the times you used to have to just pull over and make all this, just to pee. And
Yeah,
so, to be able to do it while I'm driving down the freeway is just like fucking crazy cool to me. It cracks me up.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like for me, with this dry fasting thing, then come back to it. I'm trying to transition to like not fully breatharianism, but I'm even thinking less urine, just less of everything. So I'm still going to always utilize urine therapy because I recognize that I don't think we could ever be breatharian in this society with too much poison. But with the dry fasting, it's literally just I built my machine now that I need a lot less, even urine. I don't need as much hydration because I think my body has enough hydration within. It's already 70% water. So I'm going to utilize the therapy and I'm going to carry on eating, but I'm going to be eating. My goal, I'll tell you actually, my goal, maybe Joaquin, do you know a guy called Joaquin um, Ribanero or something on Facebook? I'm not sure if you're friends with him. Kind of,
No,
you
it
friends with him?
doesn't ring a bell.
He's a flat earther, but he's into urine therapy as well. And me and him next January, our goal, and I'm going to do this. Actually, Brian, Christo as well, I think's in on this. We're all going to be doing one meal every 2 days as an experiment, consistently from next January, because I want to push the boundaries of my machine. I want to see if it can thrive on even less urine and even less food. So I'm just going to test my machine. We're all going to test our machines to see if it's good. It might not be. It might be unhealthy. It might be too much for this too little food. But I'm excited about relying even less on food and removing my addiction from food, which I have right now, and even less water, even less urine. I'm going to be trying to really clean up my body far more from what I'm doing right now to push the boundaries to show other people what's possible, to show myself and to show other people is it possible to eat less and less and less and to be healthy. We'll see.
Yes. I was just hanging with Christo.
Oh wait, no way, he came around to your place?
No, no. I on my travels, I was hanging out in Idaho and with Carol,
Oh,
Linda, Christo, and Michelle. It was awesome.
oh
For
yeah,
several,
man.
for several days, we all hung out together. It was really cool. And I
Ain't
connected
that
them.
awesome, man?
I
Yeah.
mean, Linda was my first connection. She introduced me to Carol, who was the host of the home. And Christo and Michelle gave me shout outs, so I incorporated them into the conversation, and we all hung out and did a couple soirees. It was awesome. And now I mean,
Oh,
they're all friends, and they all live in the same area. It was really an honor to be able to hook people up like that. Really an honor.
kind of, people don't get how much fun it is to actually meet in real life, like the people that drink the pee. Like it's a totally different thing, Facebook, and actually meeting somebody that does the same thing as you, and like you have so much the same things in common. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know, like
No.
real brothers and sisters, real brother and sisterhood is crazy.
Yeah, the communion is awesome. I mean, that's why I always promote the Water Life Symposium. The communion is what it's really about. I mean, there's education, but it's about hanging. It's about hooking. It's about getting to know other people that are in the same, mindset and healing modalities and all of these kind of things. Is the energy is
Yep.
amazing. And this is why I'm on the mission I am. I mean, this is the whole purpose of my mission is I really want to actually meet people, not just be in a virtual world. I want to actually
Yeah.
go out and meet people, hug them, talk with them, hang with
Yep.
them. And it's rewarding. It's really an
Very.
amazing opportunity. And I realize I'm a unique individual. Not everybody could put themselves in the same kind of, pursuit that I do, but I can and I will. And I enjoy it. I love people. I really do. I don't like
Yeah.
everybody, but
I'm
I
the same
love
as you,
them.
man. Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me cry right now. Let's be emotional for a second.
And I wish I could have hooked up with you when you were here, but I know you were pretty centered on the East Coast, and I was hanging in the Central,
Do you know
so.
what? I was, but I'm going to come down to the central. I'm going to come. I'm definitely going to meet every single person. I've made it my mission now. I'm going to meet every single, not just pea drinker, but every single health person I respect and admire. And there's quite a lot. But I'm going to meet every single one of them one by one eventually. And if it takes 5 or 10 years, I'm trying to rush, but at the same time, I'm recognizing, you know what, it's going to take time. So I'm
Yeah.
going to meet every single one of these people that's listening to this that regularly comments on the Facebook, on the urine groups, all my friends. I'm going to meet all of you in person. I've already met one or two. I'm very lucky to have met Brian. Very lucky. But I'm going to meet everyone because, yeah, I think that there's something magical happens when you meet someone face to face and you're doing the same things because you're against, listen, we're against the world, really, because when we step outside the doors, what we do isn't acceptable. How we think is very different to other people. We have a different view of life. Many of us deprogrammed from the matrix, and it's lonely. It's really lonely, actually. Just talking to people on Facebook is one thing, but being around these people, it's a game changer for your happiness. Like it really is.
Yeah, and again, this is what the retreats are, being formulated for. This is what the symposium is about. And
Yep.
I I further exercise my option into video chatting because at least you're engaging at that level too, as opposed to text. Text just annoys me, quite frankly. I'll do it, but I'd much rather Skype or WhatsApp or, video chat or whatever, so I can be in a direct conversation. We can look each other in the eye and have a conversation. I really do value this, that level. And let's face it, we're paying for this technology. Might as well enjoy it and utilize it, right?
Hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
some will say they're using it as a weapon against us, but you know what? It's funny. This weapon that they've used against us, this Wi-Fi, all of a sudden, it's caused us so many beautiful relationships and empowerment and learning has blossomed from this tool. So yeah,
Yes.
we're going to use it.
Well, and this is
Right.
again, I mean, I've set up a MeWe account, I have a Steemit account, I have a DTube account, but really, quite frankly, Facebook and YouTube dominate the social media platform. So if you want to get your message out and reach the most people, that's why I do it. I mean, certainly it would be nice to step away from it all, but you're just going to lose a audience, and I just want to send messages out. I just want to elevate, educate, and motivate people into recognizing they have the power or potential to change their whole paradigm if they choose. And
Yeah, you know another thing I love noticed is you, Kaike, but a lot of people in their middle ages and older they're actually using Facebook. Because a lot of old people out there like, oh, I don't want to use the Facebook. But when you're old and you're receptive to these mediums because they change lives, that's very admirable. Because you've had to deprogram. You've had to deprogram from the idea, this technology is bad, and you
oh,
go with the
I
flow. You go with the
resisted
times.
it forever until I had a real purpose. Even when I created the Facebook a few years ago, it wasn't with much purpose. Yeah, and it showed. But when the urine therapy came along, it focused my intent, where I really, wasn't just about jerking off on social media talking about being a vegan. That and nothing against vegans, okay? I mean, I respect, but if it's an obsession, I have a real difficulty anymore with labels and bannerism. These are social injustices to me because they are dividing to conquer us. They're separating us. It's us against them. It's all that competition and not cooperation. It's a win-lose situation instead of a win-win solution process. And unless we get hip, we're all just fucking ourselves and gooning each other one way or the other. And so, how do we get to this other medium? How do we get to this other elevation? How can we shift out of the, limitations of the matrix that we've been programmed into buying into and find ourselves amongst ourselves and share and entertain these potentials collectively instead of competing against each other? Why are we not cooperating with each other? Simple question. We have to look at
Yeah.
it. And labels and banners separate us. It's always that us
Yeah.
against them. Young against old, black against white, men against women, straight against gays, you name it, go down the pike. It's separation, division, and conquer. How can we
You know
shift
what? I
that?
think about that a lot as well. And when I look at it, what I really think about the human body and the mastery of the physical health I focus on, I look at it, I look at somebody and I think, do you know what? She might be beautiful, ugly, black, white. She's got the same human body as me. The same human, underneath it all, underneath the skin surface, there's just one beautiful body, this one beautiful energy. And it can be released, and it can be unblocked. And that's the goal, right? To unblock the energies, so that we can be pure, so we can feel the amazing awesomeness of clarity that comes from a clean body and the clean purity from urine. Urine cleans up the body, purifies you. It purifies your body, which is the same as everyone else's body. We're all born with the same bodies. I mean, in terms of like its kundalini chakras and all this stuff, we're all born with the same things, the same design. And it should unify us, really, that we are all one. We're not all. We all have different skins, yes. We all look different, yes. But that's superficial and exterior. Internally, we're all the same species, man. We're all the same species. We
We're
really are.
we we're no different really than all other what we call matter, which isn't any matter at all. But if you understand, physics, we have no matter. It's all just little protons and atoms in all molecular form that just floats around and takes mass, but it's not matter. There's your
Hell
quantum
yeah.
physics
I'm looking forward to.
101.
You know what? I'm looking forward to dying. Like people weird out when I say this, but I'm really looking forward to dying because I really want to know how it feels to like what's going on after death, and like I'm just pretty sure that life goes on after death, and it's kind of like for me, life is duality and suffering as well as love. But then when you die, you experience. There's no judgment, and you just experience infinite awareness as the being that you are. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the. I enjoy my life. Don't get me wrong, Kaike, and I'm enjoying loving pee and all this stuff. But I'm really looking forward to dying, like for real. Not in a weird way, like in a cool. Let's see what's on the other side. Let's see what next adventure life has for me, right?
Well, if you understand the premise behind man's higher consciousness with Hilton Hotemus, we never die.
Mm,
Okay?
I
Now,
kind of
this
get.
is deep
Yep.
shit, okay? Again, we're going into other rabbit holes here, but I really understand what he means when he says that because we are energy. We're electromagnetic energy in a fluid form, and we have a meat suit, but we're really actually spiritual beings living
In a human body.
in a body.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so when you can actually fully comprehend that, what difference does the body make? Well, it's just a meat suit. We're walking around in this dimension,
Yep.
and it's a limited dimension compared to the other dimensions that we can coexist in. There's your
Yep.
teleportation.
Yep.
There's your
This is God's playground.
telekinesis.
This
These are all the deeper levels that you can actually obtain in the meat suit when you can
right.
move through the other dimensions. And
Yep.
that's
People
just
would never
concept.
imagine
That's
that.
focus. I mean, we're only limited to what we actually think we're limited to.
Yep. There are so many levels to this game in terms of consciousness for the human being, and we can play at it on the level of health. Like there's disease, this very base level of consciousness on the human realm, where we're diseased, we're in pain all the time. That's very, very low level, and it's going to stop you being present to the moment, and it's going to stop you experiencing life fully. Now, as we clean ourselves up with whatever modalities that God has given us, like urine, dry fasting, sun gazing, grounding, all these kind of things, then you can play at different levels. You can start removing diseases, remove yourself from pain, go to the next levels of consciousness and consciousness and consciousness. And the ultimate level being something like a place of gratitude, compassion, non-judgment from other people, love, compassion for animals, compassion for humans, a place of deep appreciation for your life, all this. There's so many levels that we can play, and urine plays a big part in that. Health and urine plays a massive part in raising our vibration. And people won't get this until they try it. Once you try it, you'll know. It raises your vibration instantly. Instantly raise your vibration. Then day by day, you grow and grow and grow. When it ages, it gets more powerful. You just keep growing. There is no limit to the human consciousness. People, you know what? People sometimes say to me, or something I've seen people asking, but isn't there something as too healthy? There's no such thing as too healthy.
No. This is a good point, Harry, and pardon me for interrupting, but in my life, okay, over a lifetime, people accept disease and illness as normal. Ha! That's the crazy part, right? We don't accept well-beingness and having holistic health as normal. Isn't that weird? I mean, that's just weird to me.
Weird. It's weird because so many people are unfortunately really in pain and unhealthy at ages that it becomes normal because everyone else is doing it, like a sheep, like a fish, But that's why there needs to be beacons. There needs to be radicals, warriors. All the people listening to this right now, my friends and people that aren't, just think about taking a pee. You're a warrior. You're a warrior because you're about to do something. You're about to embark on a journey, do something that hardly anyone ever does, which is saying, okay, I'm going to take my health into my own hands. I'm going to start drinking my pee. I'm going to start being healthy. You're a warrior. You're going against the grain. You're going against what society, the matrix, has told you is wrong. But actually, it's empowerment. It's what you are. It's going to make you healthy. You got to go against the grain. You got to be a warrior. You got to take a pinch of salt what doctors tell you, because doctors do not get trained on this stuff. They get trained in nutrition and drugs, and those stuff don't heal you. Kaike, you can speak on that because.
Well, they don't even get trained in nutrition. Nutrition isn't even a part of the indoctrination. Basically, what they're really trained in is how to read a computer to see what drugs comply to your symptoms. That's what they really get trained in.
And they get paid six-figure salary. They get paid Do you know what? Some people come on my Facebook and talk to me sometimes and say, "How dare you, Harry? How dare you give advice? Do you think you know more than the doctor?" I'm like, yes, I do know more, doctor, but you know what? All my friends on my Facebook that follow me and talk to me and comment know more than my doctor, because they have real-world experience with healing modalities that are not to do with drugs, and they've healed themselves, whereas doctors are logical beings that rely on a system and never heal themselves. By the way, a lot of doctors themselves aren't much to look at in terms of health. I would love to see diagnoses and statistics on how healthy these doctors are, because I look at them and I think they're fat and they don't look very healthy, and they're giving me advice, they're giving my friends advice, and my parents and my friends and family are listening to these people. What the hell?
Well, here's the thing is that they have no clue of correcting or curing. It's all treatment, and most of that treatment is poor treatment. We're being treated poorly. We're being just like coddled along with a continuation of a cartel. It's a pimp factory, okay? And we're just being the hose. We're being taken. As a public at large, we're the enemy, man. We are. And they keep us alive long enough to suck everything they can out of you. Most people are one illness away from complete collapse. I mean, really, honestly, not just physically, but financially, emotionally, mentally. I mean, just look at the society we live in and how desperate it really is. It's desperate. Yeah. It's crazy.
I was going to say one thing about people that drop dead from heart attacks at 50 and 60 and 40. This is completely unnecessary to me for one reason. The pea has all the nutrients and the enzymes in it that would stop a heart attack instantly.
Yes.
Absolutely instantly. And this sounds crazy when we say this, right? But literally, as soon as you start drinking your pea, it dilates the blood vessels and it will stop a heart attack. You don't ever need to have a heart attack or die of a heart attack at 50, 60, 70.
Yes.
No one needs to do that. Unnecessary. And strokes as well. These diseases are unnecessary as soon as you start drinking your pee. And people are dying from this. And as long as people are dying, I can't see people like me or you stopping. I can't stop talking about this as long as innocent people even the people I don't know, because humans are humans. We care about all humans. Even if I don't know people, it annoys me when I see it on TV documentaries, people dying from diseases that I know can be cured from drinking their own pee. They can
Yes.
cure them, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. No, I feel the same way. You know that.
Yeah,
And I care about humans. I do. I'm a human being and I care about human beings. And I've learned to unconditionally love myself, respect myself, honor myself, and heal myself. And I just want to share that knowledge and lead people to it. Yeah, I can't make them think. I can certainly guide them in a directive they might want to consider. But what they do and what they choose is solely up to them. I have nothing to do with that.
yeah,
But I do. I've had hundreds of people tell me that they started drinking pee because they saw my videos. Now it's very humbling. The fact
yeah,
that people just, they were scratching their head, scratching their ass, whatever they're doing, and all of a sudden they see my videos and they go, fuck it, I'm doing this. And they start drinking their pee and they tell me. They come back in comments. I hear it all the time. And it's mind boggling to me that people trust their experience and their instincts that much to finally get a nudge and go, fuck it, I'm doing this. Good for you.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, man.
You know,
PB drinkers are the game changers of today and tomorrow. That's how I look at it.
yeah,
We are the future.
yeah,
We're the present and the future, and it's having a massive. Right now, there's a major resurgence, and
yes,
you know what? I know me and you, Kaike, and others are proactive, but I also don't believe it's a coincidence. I also think that we've been guided towards this. We've been pushed by some other forces in other dimensions, or creators, or gods, or whatever you want to call it. But it's not an accident. It's time for us to take back our power. That's what they're saying to us. They put it in us. They put the seeds in us for us to go and do the action. We're taking the action and fulfilling our destinies. And now it's just going to take time, and eventually it's going to be way more common. And as soon as it gets more common, we're going to go through another phase of humanity where the psychopaths aren't going to be in charge. I think that their time is over. I really do believe it. That they're gonna go downhill from this point. Like they already are.
yeah. Well, we are a unifying force, even though we seemingly are a minority. And this is why I'm pretty consistent when I see the urine people or groups or this, that, and the other in their own internal, dispute and debate and arguing and getting butt hurt and stuff because they want to prove their point is more right than their other point, point counterpoint. It's moot. We're a minority. We need to unify everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Oh,
matter your chosen modality in all of this. I mean, man, if you're doing it, cool. There's no right way or wrong way. It's your way. I mean, we're all our own perfect pharmacy. We all have the capacity to improve our lives through our own application, our own practitionering. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. What are you
yeah.
doing? What are you doing?
Bingo.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same as you. I support. This is how I roll with my mindset and beliefs. I support everyone on Facebook, even if they disapprove urine therapy. They eat fruits. They do other therapies like sun gazing, and that's all they do. Anyone that's trying to become healthy and promoting it, to me, I always support, always like, I always comment. I'll try and meet them in person if I think I can learn from them. That's how I roll. I don't just think, oh, okay, cool. They don't like pee, so I'm not going to like them. I want to learn from everybody. I want to encourage other people. That's my job. That's your job, just to encourage other people. Because we're already, like you said, we are a minority. People in the health community generally are a minority because the majority, unfortunately, are unhealthy because of the matrix. It's not even the majority's fault. So yes, we have to stick together. We have to keep promoting this stuff. We have to stop using our egos to think, oh, I know more than you, so I'm not going to be your friend, and I'm going to block you on Facebook. I see this a lot. It's very common. People getting angry about, say that I talk about urine, so people block me, and now I can't learn from that person, and I wanted to learn from that person. So it's got to stop, the divisions, like blocking people, thinking you're right, arrogance, all these things. We've just got to stop, man.
Yeah. No, and it's time. I'm definitely a love and peace warrior. It's all about the love. I mean, I just assure people, man, get your head out of the fear factor, man, because the subcategories of that are just sabotage and they're delusional and they're in defiance and denial and they're
Yeah,
unhealthy choices. Get in the love, man. Join the love fest. This shit works. Love
It does.
yourself. Love the humans. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to like them, and you don't have to do what they do. Be
Yeah.
yourself. Be authentic. Show up. Be somebody that people like go, wow, 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 because you're being true to yourself, a true
Yeah, Gandhi
character.
said, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
You can't change the world. You can't change the world, but you can change yourself. And actually, when you change yourself,
You
you change
change
the
the
world, right?
world. It's an
Yeah,
inside job. If your world sucks, you might want to look in the mirror and ask yourself why your world sucks. Hello.
yep. But if
You
your world
change it.
sucks, then
Yeah, you
please, yeah,
change your
don't
world. The
deny it.
whole world changes. It's
Yeah.
amazing how it works.
I see a lot of people that they think that what their life sucks, but they don't acknowledge it really. Because when you acknowledge that your life sucks, then you change.
Right.
When you kind of think it sucks, but you don't really admit to yourself it sucks, you don't change it. You have to be truthful to yourself, and then you can change. Don't
Yes.
lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself and say, you know what, I'm healthy when you're got a disease. No, you're not healthy. Don't lie to yourself and say, I've got a disease, but it's not my fault. No, you know what? That disease was your fault on a conscious or subconscious level. You created
Yes.
that disease. It's your responsibility. Now own up to it, and now you can fix it. Start drinking your pee. Start doing sun gazing. Start grounding. Start fasting. You can cure yourself, but you have to admit you're the one that created that problem, whether it be conscious or subconscious. Don't deny it. Don't deny it.
Yeah, well, and that is it's all about responsibility, which I always make reference to. Manuel Riez's little book, The Four Agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't assume
Yeah.
anything. Don't take it personal. Do the best you can. These are pretty simple rules to oblige to that improve your life in the simplest form. And most
Oh
people
yeah.
don't realize
Amen.
how simple it is. It's not easy because, if you're going to argue with yourself and beat yourself up and live in denial and not accept the responsibility of turning your life around, well, you're pretty much fucking yourself. And you're
Yep.
just falsifying information that appears real, which is fear. Hello, you know,
Yep. Yep.
false
Too
evidence
right.
appearing real.
Yeah. You're in Rio, right?
Yeah. And love is, doesn't need a whole lot of subcategory. Fear has endless subcategory. It really does. I mean,
Yep.
when you look at the two differentials of beingness, and they are beingness, they're mindsets in beingness, and you can't straddle this shit. You can't be in it sometimes and not in it sometimes. You either commit one way or the other. It's just like
Yep.
integrity. You either have it or you don't have it. You can't
Yep.
you can't just white lie your way into one and wiggle your way around. There's a lack of integrity. If you can't maintain it, don't ever ask why your shit is messed up. Because if you have no
Yep.
integrity, no authenticity, if you can't be true to yourself, who else are you going to lie to? Hello?
Yeah. True.
And it takes a
You,
lot of
you know.
courage to do this shit. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but it's simple.
Yeah.
It
You
is
know, it takes a lot
simple.
of courage just to drink your pee because a lot of people create excuses. They're very scared. They're like, well, they're fearful because they've been programmed. Like my fear, the fear of pee, the fear of the waste, the fear of will it do me damage? Will it harm me if I take my toxins again, re-ingest my toxins? You've got to override. You've got to override the fear of urine because there is nothing to fear. The other side is just pure bliss. You just got to override the programming, the cognitive dissonance it's been programmed into you, telling you that it's a waste product. And you know what? There is a small amount of truth. There's 0.0001% toxins in that urine, but there's 99.999% infinite bliss on the other side as soon as you down it. And you'll know this when you try it. But you've got
Yeah.
to override that small amount of truth, the small amount of waste, and take in all the goodness. Because
Yeah.
that's life. Life is tough, but most of life is a fucking fun ride when you realize it.
Oh
You've
yeah.
just gotta like
Well, here's
down.
two things that I always measure. One of them is an acronym I created a long time ago about bliss, being love in spiritual splendor. There's your bliss.
Oh yeah,
And
I
the
love it.
other the other is that life is like a roller coaster. And you can either be riding it with your arms in the air, shaking and jiving like you just don't care, screaming with joy, or you're gripping that handlebar, white knuckling in fear and screaming and wetting your little pants, because you can't handle the ride. It's a choice. But life is a roller coaster. If you think it's all just going to be farts and giggles and, you get real. Shit happens. It happens to everybody, and it's not about what happens. It's how we address it, how we identify it, how our perspective point of view addresses it, and we manage it. That's all that matters. That's all that ever matters.
Yep.
And it takes a lot of responsibility to own our bullshit, and we're all full of bullshit, really, quite frankly. And if we keep buying our own bullshit, who else are we going to bullshit? We got to get clean. P helps us get clean.
Yeah, with me, I changed my life the moment, because I used to lie to myself when I was 15, 16 and depressed, and the moment that my life changed around and I came into health and self-improvement was the day that I said, okay, I'm not going to bullshit myself anymore. Just like you said, I'm not going to bullshit myself anymore. I am this. This is who I am. It's a very low position in my mind that I created. It's kind of my own fault, so I'm going to take responsibility, and it might take a long time to fix, but I'm going to do it. That's when my life changed around, when I stopped bullshitting myself, because I used to bullshit myself so bad. And you know what? Nothing changed when I bullshit myself. Nothing changed. But the day changed, that the direction of my life changed the day I stopped bullshitting myself, and I've never looked back since. That was 10 years ago, and I'm just keep going, and life's becoming more fun. As I get healthier and happier and more on my purpose, life gets more and more fun. People won't believe. Do you know what, Kaiki? I don't think people believe how fun life can be. Some people that are depressed, they don't get it. They don't get how fun life can and is meant to be.
Yes.
There's so much bliss to come for us. Like, you can't see it in my eyes, in your eyes when we talk, and the passion, the energy. You can have that. Anyone can have that. And you know how they can have it? Because they just need to look at pictures of you when you were really ill, pictures of me when I was really depressed. All these health warriors had issues where they were really down and out, but they overcame it. And if we overcame it, that means that any other human has, whatever they've gone through, any other human can have the same thing as us. And that's why I do what I do. That's why you do what you. Because we are proof that if you've been to a low position, you can get out. Because if we can, you can as well.
Well stated, my friend. That's why I love you, Harry. You're my man. You're the shit, dude. Now, my phone's going to need a reboot before long, and we're well into 2 hours, and it takes a lot of processing and post production for me to be able to move forth with my day. I think we've covered an awful lot of territory today, Harry. I love you, man.
We covered bases quite well there, haven't we? Like,
yeah.
I will say, like, if anyone wants more information from me, and then you should all be friends with me anyway, but by all means, please add me on Facebook. My name is Harry Madadeen. I'll like your posts if you comment on the Facebook Live, so I can find you that way. But by all means, add me on Facebook and add Kaike on Facebook if you haven't got them already, because I can help anybody. I don't charge. I just want to give, and I've got information that can help anyone, really. I can give you my bias of what I've learned. So I'd love to help people in urotherapy, fasting. Any questions, anyone wants to add me, I'll talk, and we can discuss further anything I haven't talked about today in the show. So.
And I love how you stated that. I'll give you my bias.
Yeah, that's how it is, Kaike. Like,
yeah, man. That's calling it like it is. That's perfect. Yeah.
We're just wise people, so.
Yeah. Well, I thank you so much, Harry. You're an amazing soul, and you just have so much love, and your enthusiasm is just insatiable, and it's just so infectious. I just adore you, man. I mean, I just love you deeply, bro. And I appreciate all the conversations we've had over the year and stuff. I mean, we know each other. We paid attention to each other from the get-go. That's why I was looking forward to finally having this conversation with you, because I felt it would be valuable, that people would get a lot of value.
You're like my father, my adopted father, the role model to me, for real. Like a wiser, better version of me. Who I'm becoming a better person, but I always look up to role models, and I definitely look at you and I think, you know what? He's like my dad. He's like who I want to be when I'm older as well. But right now he's just my dad, which is kind of cool.
Well, I'm honored. I am. Thank you for that. That's very sweet. And Yeah, and so I encourage everybody to follow Harry. I always have. I mean, I've always followed him myself. I just think that what Harry does is off the hook. He's so open, he's so available, and he's very passionate, enthusiastic, and he constantly has that childlike wonder, which is the real marvel. So
Yeah, cheers, man.
yeah, so we are going to wrap this up. It's been really an awesome time. I just really appreciate it. I'm going to be on next week with Nancy Fox. We're going to talk about the retreats. And then I also have I'm recreating We Do Wonders, the next generation, which I got my next edition. I'll probably have that out tomorrow, but it's with my friend of 23 years who I'm staying with here in the Hood Canal, and it's going to include some music that him and I had co-written and he's performing and stuff. I already taped some portions last night, so I'm kind of excited about that. And then I'm going to be doing Saturday cartoons. I think I'm taking off here maybe Friday, heading to Oregon, then Nevada, Utah. I've got some peeps to see. So the journey continues as always. So I love you all dearly. Always take care of yourself. Love yourself. Get to know yourself. You're worth it. There's a real awesome, great human being that lives inside of you. Get to know him. And celebrate that shit. Right? Right, Harry?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Guys, you are awesome. We are all awesome people. You just got to unlock it. You got to find yourself. Find your purpose. Be happy. Be healthy. You can do this. You can drink it. You can change your life. We are
Yeah,
all changing our lives. We just got to carry on, keep on doing what we're doing.
absolutely. Yeah. So keep in mind the symposium. It's in September in Vegas at the Westgate Resort in 21st, 2nd, and 3rd of September. And that shit's for real, man. Great communion. And if you're interested in participating in the retreat we're doing in the Blue Ridge Mountains in July, go ahead and send me an email at widushavambu Gmail or PM me. And let's talk about that because we're putting it together. We'd love to have you. There's only 12 people that are going to join us, so you might be one. Who knows? And you want to say goodbye, Harry, before I boom out?
Yeah. Bye, guys. I love you all. Carry on doing your work and practice on Facebook. And yeah, I love you. I love you all. And Kaike, thank you very much for making this happen, man. I'll carry on listening to the shows and keep going. Keep
Yeah,
going, brother.
yeah. Thank you
We
so
got this.
much.
We got this, man.
And as a final note, just know, boom! Ha ha! Y'all just been loved. Thanks for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. Bye bye.